Hello, race fans. Welcome back to Freaky Fast Broadcasting. Here tonight, we have the Sim Racing Unleashed Cup Series from the Pocono Raceway here for the budget Sim Boxes 250. What a night we have in store for us here as these drivers go and take on the tricky triangle for 100 laps and 250 miles. But let's first give a shout out to our sponsors here at Freaky Fast Broadcasting. We have some wonderful sponsors here. ButtKicker is that wonderful sponsor. As remember, every game deserves a truly immersive experience. The ButtKicker Gamer 2 lets you feel every detail, from the subtle footsteps to the rumble of a V10 powered race car, from the ambient environmental effects to the power of a nearby explosion. By moving to physical mass instead of only air, the Gamer 2 provides instant, accurate, powerful base response. And it's all perfectly synced with every game with no additional software required. So make sure you go to buttkicker.com and you can get yourself a game or two. And you can also use our promo code to get 20% off, which is FreakyFast20. Remember, FreakyFast20, 2 E's in the Freaky, and you can get yourself 20% off there at buttkicker.com and you can feel what you've been missing. We also need to give a special shout out here to, I might actually have blanked out there. So I think we're going to... Oh, no, there it is. I got it now. I knew I was missing something, guys, because we do have a special sponsor here, and that is Budget Sim Boxes, as they also are the race sponsor here tonight and the league sponsor. And remember, if you're a sim racer on a budget looking for a button box, then Budget Sim Boxes is your source. With several different sizes and functionality options, Budget Sim Boxes will have that button box that fits your price range without breaking your bank. Budget Sim Box is your source of high-quality button boxes at an affordable price. Find them on Facebook by searching Budget Sim Boxes or look for them in the Facebook iRacing flea market. And you can go check yourself out. Budget Sim Boxes got myself one. I tell you what, they're very nice, so make sure you go check out Budget Sim Boxes, as it is a great product for like an affordable price like it says. So thank you to our sponsors here tonight at Sim Racing Unleashed and Freaky Fast Broadcasting. Tonight, I am Zach Hall. Joining me is Lee Tidwell, and we'll have Robert Moyer Jr. up in the production box running our cameras tonight. Lee, good to be back here with you tonight, man, at Pocono.
You know, we're here at Pocono, this tricky little girl that doesn't charge too much, but it's an awful lot of fun here for the Simbox 250 with Sim Racing Unleashed SRU, our premiere broadcast on Sunday nights with the A-Team. And I got a question for you, Zach. You said, tonight I am Zach Hall.
Oh,
were
true.
you not Zach Hall last night when you won Road America with the NAISDC Cup Series, or were you Kyle Naughton Jr.?
I think I was Cal Naughton Jr. I was shaking and baking, and my Ricky Bobby wasn't there, so I got to take home first, so it worked out.
Oh, man, as we get set to get underway with Pocono, the next-gen cars, every race we do here with SRU and these next-gen cars is a first for us, is a first for them, and for a lot of you guys watching here this evening, it's the first time you've got to watch the next-gen cars in a serious competitive race on some of these tracks. Or, there's not a lot that's been going on since they've released these on official races and even in the hosted sessions. But to see a league formed, or not only formed, but running their 10th season, deciding to go to the next-gen cars, and now we're here at Pocono. I love this track. It is something you really have to have a rhythm for. All three turns are different. All three straightaways are different. You can land a daggum plane on the front stretch. But it's one of those tracks that I truly do enjoy coming to, and looking forward to seeing the guys here tonight with SRU in the next-gen car.
Oh, I've been looking forward to this one for sure. I think we can see something different than we've seen from Texas. We've seen a very much of a pack race last week, Lee, at Texas. And really couldn't get away from each other tonight. I think you could possibly get away with these three different corners and long straightaways. But at the same time, that draft and side draft, with this new update we got, it's brought that same aero package we have at the super speedways to all the other racetracks now. So we have a big amount of side drafting going on, I think, here tonight. I think you're going to see a lot of possible wrecks from that too. But we'll have to see how these guys manage it.
Yeah, speaking of last week, the Renegade Reptile 200 from Texas Motor Speedway, Steven Leffler was the points leader going in. Got collected in a wreck early on, had a disastrous night, dropped all the way to 5th in points. Mark Whitley wins his second race, now back-to-back winner, and would take over the points lead, increasing from 6th position. So Whitley on a 2-race streak. There is a Freaky Fast bounty out on Mark Whitley, supposedly. I've heard this through the grapevine that Oz has offered $10 to anyone that can win this race that is not named Mark Whitley. So this ought to be an interesting thing. Whitley on top in points. Hunter Hayward, 2 points behind him. Brad Delphin, 3rd. Derek Love in 4th. And Leffler as we stated, dropped all the way down to 5th position.
Well, to hit on that freaky fast bounty a little bit, yeah, Mark Whitley there. Believe it, I've heard it's 8 out of his last 12 races he's got victory. So he is the guy to beat. It seems like week in and week out it's been for here at SRU. So we decided up here as Robert did, and he said, you know what, we're putting a bounty on to see who can go out there and get this guy, out of that first position and give him a good run for his money. And somebody here is definitely going to do that as we're about to head into qualifying here just as qualifying starts. And Mark was second fastest in practice, so right there again, showing a lot of speed already in this next gen car.
But only one person within the same 10th of a second range as Mark Whitley, and that was the guy that led practice, Michael Yarrow. Yarrow, an excellent racer on his own right, so we're going to be watching him very closely as well. As we're looking at the 76 of Josh Jones. He is on the track on his warm-up lap, along with the 81 of Steven Stipien. The 44 of Robbie Darnell is out there. The 14, that is Brad Delph. The 1 car of Todd Neese is out on the track. The 72 of Leffler. The 95 of Michael Yarrow. Let's watch Yarrow in the 95 if we can switch to him, please. I want to see the time he puts down since he was fastest in practice.
I'm going to tell you what, and Yarrow is definitely going to be one to watch. I think, like I said, he's fast in practice. He's always a guy that's been really, really quick. Wow, he's on the apron in the toter. So I don't know if that's a different type of line. It's definitely interesting. I think he's trying to warm the tires up, possibly. Yeah, he's wiggling a little bit down here the back straightaway. But Yarrow, I wouldn't be surprised to see him put himself on top of the board, but I've seen him lead practice sessions before and then not have the greatest qualifying run, so I hope he can back that up. We'll have to see here as they head off in. But I believe we do have one new rookie, as we did have 3 rookies move up to the Cup Series this week, Lee. But I believe there's only one of them here right now, and that is Keith Hurlbutt.
Hurlbutt. I like that name.
I believe that's how you pronounce it.
It is Keith, tonight.
Yeah, tonight it's going to be Hurlbutt. But if it's not Keith, make sure you let us know.
As we watch the 95 of Michael Yarrow going through the tunnel turn as we speak, times are starting to be laid down. Temp for the first time of the evening. Whitley jumps up 53.855 as Yarrow's coming through turn 3. Josh Jones in second at the moment. Stimpy in third. Dave Bush jumps up to 4th. Brad Delph in 5th. Now let's see where Yarrow's going to throw his time down. Todd Neese ramps up to 2nd position. Yarrow crosses the line. Where will he go? Michael Yarrow will go 54.127, go 4th, with Whitley still on the pole. Neese, Jones, Yarrow, Stipien, your top 5 at the moment. As you can see, the scoring pile line there on the left side of your screen.
Yeah, these second laps, I want to see if that's going to be the fastest one. I imagine it would be, but Mark Whitley with a burner on the first lap.
Whitley's coming around 3 now. Let's see what he does on his second lap. The 77 of Whitley, 53.855 across the line this time in that Pepsi machine. Will he improve his time? No, nope, doesn't. 53.895, slightly slower than his first lap time. Right along now with James Bryan in the 52.
Whitley right now at that time that is an ominous sign. 85 to a 99. Then the rest of the field in the 54s. No one else yet to break into the 53s other than Todd Neese. And even Yarrow, he goes slower in the second lap. So it looks like first lap has to be the money lap at the moment. And a few guys making mistakes possible.
Absolutely, as we're still out on the track watching some of these guys throw down their laps now. James Bryan goes into 11th with a 54.948. Whitley still on that pole of 53.855. Who else is out there? The 72 of Leffler is setting. Now he just popped out.
And there's Keith Hurlbutt. He's out there on the track, and looks like he's from, I believe that's Carthage. That'd be Missouri or Montana. Whatever, Montana, right? Is it
MT?
Ah, MT. Okay, yep. Lee, that's why you're up here in the booth with me. You're a great wise man.
Wise man was Confucius say MO for Missouri.
Oh man, what a time we have up here! Thank you everybody for tuning in. Yeah, Earl,
I've got throttle, boy. Lost the line. Hurlbut. Let's see what he puts down. A 54.246. We'll shoot him up to 9th position. We'll shoot him right up to the Hurlbut.
Oh man, I'd say we're gonna get a good kick out of that one for tonight. And turns out we'll find out that we totally are butchering his name. But Keith, you're gonna learn up here at Freaky Fast Broadcasting. We are a jokative bunch up here.
We're a professional company, sir.
That's exactly right. I am totally in a suit and tie right now.
I'm in Star Wars pajamas. I don't know about you. Qualifying is over. Zach Whitley, target on his back, and everybody's going to be aiming for him. Take that home.
Well, I appreciate the compliment comparing me to Mark Whitley there.
No. I was saying Zach Whitley takes the pole.
Oh,
there was a pause in there. If y'all can't read commas in speech, I don't know what's wrong with you. That's that Pennsylvania and North Carolina education for you.
Oh no. Okay, we'll move on. We'll just move on to the grader because we don't want to hurt nobody's feelings right now. But Mark Whitley right now on the pole. Great job by him there. He's got that bounty. Let's see if they can take it to him. Todd Neese there. Second, third is going to go to Josh Jones. Fourth is Brad Delth. Fifth place there, right in your top five. Great qualifying position there for Dave Bush. Sixth is going to be the fastest man in practice, Michael Yarrow. Seventh is going to be Steven Stempien. Eighth is going to be Robbie Darnell. Ninth is going to be Keith Hurl. But 10th is going to be Derek Love. 11th is going to be Stephen Leffler. 12th is going to go to James Bryan. 13th is going to be Kevin Roy. 14th is Clifton Ashley. 15th is Paul Cohen. 16th is going to be Jason Adams. 17th, Mark Koscheck. And 18th is going to be Robert Cheswick. And then Ryan Airfield being 19th is Kyle Nadu in the 97. As we got 19 cars here ready to do battle at the Pocono Raceway.
Pocono, the tricky triangle in Pocono, Long Pond, Pennsylvania is where we are this evening. Got a wonderful race from the Nashville Fairgrounds with the Bonfire Racing League this morning. Last night we were at Road America with the NAISCC Cup Series. And Zach, as we talked about earlier, you came away with a victory there. Check us out on Saturday nights there on the NAISCC Cup Series on Freaky Fast. Don't forget for all the racing action that we show every night of the week except for Fridays, you can click that subscribe button right now. It's right below the video. It says subscribe. It's red. It's real easy to find. Click that button. We're looking to make it to 1,000 subscribers by the end of July. So we need you to share the heck out of this page and ask your friends. Go ahead and subscribe. If they're sim racing fans, if they're just racing fans, if they're just looking for some quality toilet entertainment to while they're doing their business, to have something to, instead of scrolling, to laugh at and hinder with. We can be that for you. Just go ahead and click on subscribe right there on Freaky Fast Broadcasting. Click on that notification bell to know every time we go live on the air, and twice on Sundays. That's Freaky Fast Broadcasting. They're breaking it out, Zach.
Yes, they are bringing it out. I also heard, I think if we get 1,000 subscribers, I heard that Sam's going to do a broadcast on his birthday soon. So
you get 1,000 subscribers, he's going to do it nude.
Yeah, that's right. I heard that. Did you hear that, Luke?
Yep, gonna make it have a live webcam and everything.
He's a good guy.
Crazy.
I'm glad he puts himself up for bets like that.
Yep, gonna have a Patreon page for that broadcast.
Nope. Just wait till we get 1,000 people.
So Whitley and Neese will be on the front row. Josh Jones, Brad Delph on the second. Dave Bush, Michael Yarrow on the third. Stempien and Darnell fourth. Hurlbut and Love will be on row number 5 as we go through the tunnel turn. Extremely long pace laps here.
Yeah, this track, it's got the road course-itis pace lap speed. Very, very long track, very slow pace speed.
You got pace speed of 55 miles an hour around a 2.5-mile track.
No bueno.
Now, as we go through 3, we get ready to go green. It's going to be 100 laps from Pocono here on Freaky Fast Broadcasting with SRU Sim Racing Unleashed. Pace car will pull off. We'll bring them to the line. Whitley and Neese, rev up those engines. Barney the Flat Guy says, let's get underway. Across the start-finish line, Josh Jones is going to be falling down on the low side behind Whitley. This long, grueling straightaway that you literally could take an airplane off from as they head down into turn number 1. He will stay double foul with Whitley on the bottom side. Nice run there by Neese on the high side. Jones will stay up top. Then you've got Dave Bush and Delph behind them. Darnell will pass Leffler for 8th position. Neese in second. Jones backs down to third as they are door-to-door with Dave Bush pulling up to the backside of them. Then Delph and Stempien with a nice run. Delph's going to have it on the high side, go up to 5th position, and be side by side with Stemp.
That's a driver I'm looking for to have some type of rebound race here. Stimpy not had the greatest season. He's also had to miss a few races here. With his getting ready to have a newborn child. So congrats to him again on that. With his wife or fiance, I believe.
Yeah, Miss Kayla. I know she's probably watching.
Yes, and thank you always for tuning in, Kayla. But I think Steven is going to be a threat tonight. I got that feeling, man. Pocono, this guy usually does really, really good at this track, and I think he could be a huge threat here. Already drove up the 5th, 2 spots up. I would love to see him get a win.
If I'm not mistaken, Stemp actually won here last year.
I believe so.
Yeah. Yeah, so Whitley will continue to lead. Neeson 2nd, Jones 3rd, Delph 4th, Stemp will be in 5th, and you got Dave Bush has slid back to 6th. Robbie Darnell and Derek Love 7th and 8th, Leffler in 9th, James Bryant in 10th position.
Looks like Steven Leffler was one of the drivers trying to make some moves up. He made 1 spot up there. Looks like to the 10th spot, and then there behind him, James Bryant. He's got Kevin Roy and the 5, Keith Hurlbut, who's dropped really far back in this lap. He's always got from 8th all the way back to that 11th position. So he lost about 3 spots there on that lap.
Diving it down into 1. It was Stippian looking underneath. Delph wasn't going to have it going there behind Dave Bush. Darnell and Love are going to be side by side coming out of 1.
I think one thing we're going to have to watch too is this drafting is different. We've got updated drafting parameters, but also that side draft is going to be a lot more powerful at tracks like this now. And I think you're going to see if you guys use it to your advantage. I know I watched a little bit of the laps of practice when the time I had available there, and I noticed Mark Whitley was one of the drivers really utilizing that side draft. And Brad Delph into the 76, and Josh Jones, he saves it though, Lee.
What a save by Jones. He's going to lose a few spots. Still Wiggly coming out of 3. Dave Bush also looking out to the inside of him with Stippy and Darnell as well. Bush will fall back into 7th position. There's a little shake-up there. Jones getting touched by Delph in 3. 3 wide now going into 1. Trying to settle it back down around that 76 of Josh Jones. He will fall back to 4th position and then just have a hornet's nest behind him of Stippy and Love, Bush, Leffler, Darnell.
Yeah, and Stippy in there. He lost that spot back to Josh Jones there as Jones slid down to the inside. They put Stippy kind of in the middle there almost with Derek Love on the outside, and was kind of a sketchy situation. He had to back out of there, but made it through as Derek Love there directly behind him with Robbie I believe that's Dave Bush. Yes, Dave Bush.
Yeah, Bush is caught on the inside. He's lost a few positions now. Leffler trying to take him on the high side. That would move Bush back to 8th position. Going to be that way across the line by half a car length. So Bush needing to work his way back up. And they were double file behind them with Roy, Ashley, Bryan, and Hurlbut.
I think this side-by-side action going down the 1. This is going to be one of the best places to pass. The 52 can't slide up into him there. That is really dangerous there as they got really, really close there. The 10 of Clifton Ashley going to go around the outside. Looks like James Bryan going to slide back another spot there to 12th.
Clifton Ashley in that number 10 machine. And Mobile 1 coming flying around. He is in 11th spot, up 3 from his starting position. Dave Bush has slid all the way back to 8th.
Yeah, Bush has definitely not been able to hold on to his spots there. Like you said, got caught on the inside, kind of freight train around the outside of the draft, and slid him backwards. But one driver who slid back the most in the first lap and kind of just caught me off guard was Michael Yard, the fastest man in practice. He drove down to turn 1, went all the way to the wall, and let everybody by and gave up every bit of track position he had. And that's kind of a classic thing Yard does, but I feel like that really hurts his race because now he's got to drive back through the field to get all that track position. So
Delph got passed by Jones, moved back to 4th. Now Stimpian and Delph are side by side. And you also have Derek Love up there mixing it up as well. But yeah, Jones just to the inside of Delph overtook that 3rd position pretty much with ease.
Yeah, Josh Jones is looking quick. And in practice, I was watching him. He was one of the guys really trying to utilize side draft there as Derek Love took advantage of Stimpian getting somewhat of his nose chopped off by Brad Delph there into the tunnel turn. had to back out of it. Those guys used the momentum around the outside to go around him, and that's going to take Steven Leffler even by, and that's going to drop Stick back even 2 spots. Look at the side draft, though.
Yeah, huge side draft there down this long front stretch. Leffler and Stympian side by side. Dave Bush kind of watching what's going along to see what he is going to do. Behind Bush is going to be Darnell. Then you got Roy and Ashley that were door-to-door going into one. Roy will have the advantage and slide up in. Leffler now still hung to the high side. Bush is going to drop down, draft with Stympian. Good the opportunity for Darnell to maybe suck up to the back of Leffler going into the tunnel turn. 2 by 2.
Yeah, what I've seen already, that side draft is super powerful. I'm kind of surprised we haven't seen more usage of it. I mean, it is a dangerous maneuver, especially with, online network racing. You can have definitely some issues when you get really close to each other with contact sometimes, anytime we have internet involved. But, man, I just seen how powerful it was with a few of these guys. And, man, Dave Bush had a big run out of 4 there, or out of 3. Someone just dropped to his quarter panel and literally stopped him. I mean, Stympian and Leffler here, they pulled away 4 car lengths from him just with that side draft.
The side draft will take the wind out of your sails, just like getting kicked in the crotch. We're on lap 8 of 100 here at Pocono with SRU. Whitley continues to lead. Neeson second, Jones in third, Brad Dell fourth, Derek Love will be in fifth. And he's got Steven Leffler in sixth, Steven Stympian in seventh, Dave Bush in eighth, Kevin Roy in ninth. Clifton Ashley will round out your top 10. Yarrow, who was quickest in practice, down to 12th position, down 6 spots. Yarrow kind of does, as you talked about earlier, kind of alluded to there, Zach, kind of runs a cat and mouse type strategy when it comes to these races.
Yeah, he really does, and I understand the point of that. I definitely do, but I feel like with his speed, if he would just start up front, he would have chances to win more races. It's hard to drive from that far back and run somebody down. I mean, especially when you're dealing with guys like Whitley. I mean, Todd Nice right now, he's looking really feisty up front. I mean, you got some really strong competitors out of Josh Jones. I mean, it's all throughout the field. And, dropping back and giving up spots, that is just time giving up. I mean, when you qualify 6th, I try not to give up as much as I possibly can. You don't want to risk too much, but you can't give up too much either.
As we have the field heads through the tunnel turn. The front 3 have kind of taken off and left everyone else. And then you've got Delph and a line behind him leading all the way back to Dave Bush, along with Roy, Ashley, and Robbie Darnell. Go ahead and include him in this little freight train. Coming out of 3, nose to tail. They have all kind of settled down here. But now Stympian looking to the inside of Leffler. A little side drafting going on with him. Dave Bush looks like he's going to go down with Stimp.
Yeah, and that's teammate work right there. Dave Bush is teammates with Steven Stympian and trying to help out his buddy as much as possible there and push him by Leffler as they're still side by side down his back straightaway. Steven utilizes this side draft here. He did get close, and that's going to pull him back somewhat. He pulls the nose ahead now as they head down to the tunnel turn. This is the toughest spot to go side by side. Oh, contact Leffler and Bush. Leffler saves it. Oh, my goodness gracious.
Leffler saves it, and it almost gets run into the back two by Roy. But, man, yeah, Bush gets Leffler a little bit loose there in the tunnel turn. Going to drop Leffler back to 9th, Bush to 10th.
Yep. Big momentum loss for those drivers right there with that checkup. And, man, that could have been worse, though. So they'll take that right now as they're surviving. And remember, no fast repairs here at SRU. Cannot, keep that in your back pocket. If you get wrecked out, you're out of this thing. So very close moment, especially the tunnel turn, a very fast corner that could end up in calamity.
Race for 4th, 5th, and 6th. Brad Delph, Derek Love, Steven Stympian. Stympian now down to the inside of Love, heading towards the tunnel turn. He will crack the top 5. About 3/4 of a car lead.
Like
battle for the lead.
He's challenging. Josh Jones is there too. This run's going on. These guys have pulled up to the back bumper of this 77 and looking through the field. Steven Stympian, he's running times quicker than our leader. So, man.
Jones underneath Nice.
Yeah, he's there now too.
Oh, they get so close coming out of 3. Side by side, drag racing, side drafting. Right across the line, Josh Jones by 3/4 of an inch.
Great racing. We're seeing now down in the ones directly side by side. Jones will have the advantage here. He's going to slide up the racetrack, though, here. Let's see if brakes, get crossed back under, get a little bit of a tug on that quarter panel there with the side draft. You look at Mark Whitley. He's trying to use this to his advantage. He pulls them beside each other. Look at Steven Stippian behind that 3 wide.
3 wide back with Steven Stippian in the 81 Nissan Love.
What great
It's
race.
Bradley Delph, excuse me. Delph will go back to 6th position. Stippian in 5th. Derek Love up to 4th. And Stippian trying to side draft him coming to 3.
They're directly side by side. Looks like Love's going to have the drive off, though. Can Stip get the draft here off the corner? Love's going to have the better drive. I'm going to pull away somewhat, but that draft's going to start to kick back in to pull that 81 forward.
Back up front, Mark Whitley has now pulled out a 7/10 of a second lead over Josh Jones as Jones and Nice keep battling back and forth, giving Whitley the opportunity for that clean air just to go back.
Yeah, and I think it's just really down to, like, when you battle side by side in this car, with especially the new update, especially a track like this, you slow each other down so much with the side draft. Now, look, Todd Nice elects to push Josh Jones down that straightaway. They pulled in so much time to Mark Whitley there. They're going to have to do this. Any side-by-side battling behind the leader is just going to create the leader to have a gap. And we got a car wrecking back there. Major wreck. It's Clifton Ashley in the 10.
Ashley in the 10. Oh, he's still flipping. We'll go back to the Freaky Fast Carnage replay and see exactly what happened with that. As we have our first caution of the evening on lap 14 of 100 here at Pocono. See if we can see exactly what happened with the 10. Whoop. Touch the wall. Overcorrect. Along for the ride.
And then look at this. And then look at this. He's going to find the hole in the wall here.
Oh, no.
Worst spot to hit this angle. Very lucky this is a virtual sim because that angle, not a good hit. Pushes him back up the racetrack. You got oncoming traffic. Here's Dave Bush, Steve Leffler to get by. But boom, Robbie Darnell, nowhere to go. Same for James Bryan and Keith Hurlbut. He he barely gets through.
Oh, so our first caution of the evening, and it involves the 10 of Clifton Ashley. Man, and as you said, good thing this was virtual because you do not want to hit there. As we're going to ride along with Hurlbut now. Let's see if he need to wear his brown pants. Oh,
whoa!
Yeah, definitely need to wear your brown pants on that one.
I mean, Clifton Ashley's sitting in pit road. There's nothing left of that car. Like, it is completely destroyed. His race is over. Unfortunate for him. And man, that was just the worst spot to possibly wreck for him. And he found it for sure. Might as well call him Jeff Gordon because Jeff Gordon was pretty good doing that in his career. And look at this strategy being played here. Guys coming down pit road. And the thing is, we only have 3 sets of tires in this pit.
Nissan Leffler stayed out.
Yeah, these guys are staying out. The thing is, though, I only think it's going to take a 2-stop. So technically, you would be on point for tires. But if we get some cautions, that's going to help the guys who stay out right here and save a set.
Interesting strategy to watch play out here this evening as we're on caution number 1. Jones missed his pit stall, Zach.
Yeah, he was way too far right there, and he's pretty much figured out he would have to back up and get going. And he just said, you know what, I'm just going to go stay out. No. So just lost some track position, but at the end of the day, not too big a deal. It's still a long way to go in this race. We'll see what he can do.
Don't forget to click that subscribe button to get all the Freaky Fast content delivered right there to your mobile device, your computer system, your smartwatch. Heck, we'll even send you smoke signals if you pay enough. And click that notification bell as well. We're looking to get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of July. And got lots of little side bets going on. Sam Dyer will broadcast in the nude if we hit 1,000 subscribers. Zach Hall, I'm not sure exactly what were you doing? I forgot already.
I don't know. I'll run a paint scheme or something. You know, yeah, funny one. That. I don't know.
I will design an anime girl paint scheme.
Yes.
Zach Hall must run on Saturday night.
Run the rest of the season.
Just looking for it.
You
You run a full season with it?
I will do a full season. If we get to 1,000, I will do it. And I'm not a
And
fan of cars like that at all.
oh
So
no, I'm gonna
it's
make it a
gonna pay
total
me.
weeb car, man.
Well,
Total.
I will do it. I'll do whatever it takes.
Leffler coming in. Jones coming back in. So interesting that Leffler just took the 1 lap advantage on that. Lead a
Yeah.
lap? No, he wouldn't even lead a
Man.
lap. Todd Nice did. So
Yeah, he didn't leave last night. Yeah, just guess he figure out, man, maybe I'm on the right strategy, or does he come down and just top off with fuel? Is the question. I think that's no. He jacked the car up. I mean, Steven Stippian, also Michael Yara. I know those two only took fuel. They did not change tires when they came down. So interesting strategy for those two cats right there.
like say hello to Mr. Stippian joining us there on YouTube, along with Brandon Colley, one of the all-star broadcasters here on Freaky Fast Broadcasting, and also a member of Category 5 there on Saturday nights. Not just on Saturday nights. You know, he doesn't have a limited membership. He's always a member. But Todd Nice, James Bryant, and Keith Hurlbutt, they will be the only ones that stayed out. So let's see if this strategy pays off for those three.
Bold strategy, Cotton. We'll see if it plays out for him, though. Yeah, it's one of those things. They're going to have to live and die with this one, Lee. So it could play out in their favor. If we get a rash of cautions, I think it will, because then they're going to have the options to take more tires and have a little more options on their side than the rest of the guys who've already blown a set in this opening 15 laps.
So once again, I'd like to thank everyone for watching here on YouTube for Sim Racing Unleashed, the premier broadcast on Freaky Fast Broadcasting.
Yes,
Every
sir.
Sunday night with the A-Team, myself, Zach Hall, and Oz himself, Robert A. Moya. When he's on, boy, he is on with that production. Here we go. Pace car will come off this time, and we will be on lap 17 when we cross the line. Todd Nice on the inside, James Bryant on the high side. Barney the flat guy says, let's go, boys. Stippian with a good jump. Mark Whitley right behind him. They're following James Bryant on the high side.
Gotta be
Underneath
careful.
the
Old tires up front, new tires behind. This could get a little bit wild. We'll see what the difference is.
Woo. Bryant almost cut the nose off of Nice. Stippian with a ride on Nice on the high side.
Whoa, Brad Dill.
Going 3 wide. Delph. What in the world is he doing? He's down on the apron. Delph. He's in front of Busch now. We still keep it double file. Stippian up to the lead. Whitley into second. Drops James Bryant back down to third in front of Dave Busch. And now Stippian and Mark Whitley say, see ya, fellas, and try to take off. Double file back behind them. Dave Busch will move up into third position. James Bryant continues to fall backwards. Derek Love now up to fourth. Bryant down to fifth. Brad Delph will now jump into fifth position. James Bryant continues to fall backwards.
What a lap from Steven Stippian. He goes all the way to the lead. And he didn't take tires either. So what a great job by him to get the lead somehow on the old tires. But Mark Whitley, I'm sure after a few lap or a corner or two, is going to drive right by the 81 with those brand new tires.
And right up underneath, as you said, Whitley out of one. Stippian trying not to get too tight. We'll keep it off of the wall. Whitley with a half a car length lead. Now going into the total turn of Steven Stippian. Love in third. Then you got Busch and Delph battling for fourth and fifth. Right behind them, Bryant and Josh Jones. Jones making an impressive run here after missing his pit stall his first time around. We come out of the tunnel turn headed to 3. Whitley has solidified the lead. Derek Love in second. Stippian starting to lose a lot of ground now. Brad Delph moves up to fourth. We'll pass Dave Busch. Now Josh Jones looks to the inside of Busch.
Wow, we could have had a big moment, too. There was contact between Derek Love and Steven Stippian there. Derek Love thought he was clear. Steven was there and almost put Steven in the wall. Good heads-up maneuver by Steven Stippian to back out of the mistake by the 87 there.
So the field starts to spread out. Whitley with a half-second lead over Derek Love. Battle now for third position and then one for fifth, Busch and Jones. Jones will pass Busch, take over fifth position. Then you've got Delph and Stippian side by side. Stippian to the high side. Delph will go underneath him. Now here comes Josh Jones like a like moss on a rolling stone flowing through that tunnel turn. Nice looking to the inside of Dave Busch. Now comes Jones to the inside of Stippian.
Yeah, that's just showing what new tires will do for you. As these guys are going on by these guys on the older tires, but if it stays green, it plays into the guy's favor who pitted and took tires. If it gets a caution or a few here, going to play into the guy's hands who didn't take tires. So right now, we got a kind of a split field on strategy. Oh, they're wrecking back there. Cheswick.
Robert Cheswick in the number 6. Oh, then we have Jason Adams getting involved. Caution number 2 at Pocono.
Carnage here on the front straightaway. Cheswick, contact between him and Robbie Darnell. We'll see you on the Freaky Fast replay, though, guys.
The Freaky Fast Carnage replay. And a little tip to the back. Slight contact, but enough to bring him around. And Cheswick hard into the outside wall. Tires come off the ground. The 51 barely missed him. That's a 51 of Paul Cohen, and then just gets smashed by Mr. Constitution, Jason T. Adams.
Yeah, heavy hit there, and Cheswick's engine up in smoke. I believe Jason Adams, he had to tow. No, it's like he got it actually going there in the 24, but a lot of guys with some damaged race cars there, but mostly Cheswick on the one that's going to be the hurt the most by that with that engine damage.
Absolutely, sir. So the Freaky Fast Carnage replay brought to you by Carnage Energy Drink. Are you looking for a drink? Try Carnage.
Did you make it
No, that doesn't exist. I just made that up.
I know. Yeah. Okay, Freaky Fast has got it. We're gonna have our own energy one day. Energy drink, and it's gonna be called Carnage.
Or what we could do is we can just pull the Fight Milk ad off of Always Sunny in Philadelphia. We have Fight Milk and Kitten Mittens sponsoring the Carnage replay.
Man, I'm gonna tell you one thing. Lee, I cannot remember. There was some reference you made to something during the broadcast last night that Sam didn't know about, and I was very mad he didn't know about it. I can't.
Is that the Chris Berman reference?
I mean, I know who Chris Berman is. It wasn't that one. I can't believe you didn't know that either. Wow, I must have skipped over that one. There was something else. It'll click to me here in a little bit, but man, it was. I just could not believe he did not know about this.
It was a road course last night, so there's lots of subjects we talked on. Lots of cheese talk last night.
Yeah. And look, now the guys who didn't pay on that first time, look, they're coming down now. And Steven Stippion's going to lead them down with Dave Bush and Yara.
Exactly. Okay, all right, I'm coming live here, ladies and gentlemen. Real quick, Sam asked last night, you put cheese on a lot of things. What is something that you put cheese on that no one would think you'd actually put cheese on?
What's something I would put cheese on that people wouldn't think I put cheese on? Oh,
yeah,
man.
Like what? Say putting cheese on a banana. Like, you know what I mean? What's the odd thing that you would do with cheese?
Man,
an odd thing I would do with cheese is to smear it all over myself.
Well, okay. Well, all right. Now we're getting.
The one thing I used to do when I was a kid, I feel like it's kind of odd that I don't do now. I used to eat cheese sandwiches, where it's like a sandwich with just mayonnaise and cheese on it.
Mine's mustard and cheese, dude. I still do that stuff.
Yeah, so do I. Okay, so
that's
not odd.
I guess it's not that odd. Yeah, I mean, I used to do it when I was a kid, but I haven't done it in so long. It's like just like a cheese sandwich. But man, I put cheese on like everything, so it's like kind of hard to even think of something weird that has cheese on it. Like,
well, it's like
I won't put it on nothing super crazy, but
right.
Most things, if cheese can go on it, I like a lot of cheese. I'm a big cheese man. Let's just say I should probably be from Wisconsin. So
there you go. Well, I know Lee said last night, ladies and gentlemen, that he takes his grilled cheese sandwiches and dips them in ketchup.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. I think y'all were talking about soup. Man, y'all were talking about all types of good food. Now I'm getting hungry.
Well, we're a Freaky Fast, ladies and gentlemen. We talk about food. You know that.
It's very true.
It's a 18-month tradition going on now. Or it seems that much.
I think we need to change our name from Freaky Fast to Freaky Food something.
Freaky Food Broadcasting.
Food Fighters.
We are the food broadcast.
You little freaky food booth out there on the infield.
Well, man. Gotta love food though. It's what keeps us alive. It's very important to our daily lives, everybody. And water, lots of water.
I don't drink water though. I mean, that's a conversation we have at work all the time. I don't drink water.
You need to change that.
I drink Mountain Dew.
I don't drink water either, but anyways.
It's good for you. Very good.
Man, okay. Same argument I have all the time. The primary ingredient in Mountain Dew, what is it listed as? Water. I get my water intake from my Mountain Dew.
What do you make coffee with? Water.
But is there sugar in it?
What does that matter?
It
still
takes
water.
a little bit of the hydration away. It's all about hydration. Gotta stay hydrated, guys. You keep your focus. You know what? That's how I won that race last night. It was all down to hydration.
So Collie just reminded us what the reference was that Sam couldn't remember. It was, he didn't know who Adam West was.
Adam West. Yeah, he didn't know who Adam West was. That's exactly. And you know what? I've never thought about that with Adam Westfield. Adam West. I didn't like think of that. Mayor West.
Yep.
Oh,
That's
man.
Mayor Adam Westfield.
Yep,
there
Mayor Adam
the
West.
ISDC Cup Series.
I like your nicknames, Lee. We always enjoy those.
Especially when you see like David Medina having Funky Cole Medina on his paint scheme. I'm like, all right, that one's stuck.
And you know, I said the time when I was up at the booth with you there, I didn't understand that reference, but after I went and looked it up, did understand it. I just didn't know I understood it, you know?
Bunch of young whippersnappers.
Steve's dad says that he's going to make a grilled cheese sandwich while he watches the race.
Stipian's hungry now, wanting a grilled cheese.
Yeah, enjoy your grilled cheese.
With some ketchup.
Yeah.
Pace car comes off. Here we go. Be lap 24 when we cross the line. Whitley gets a heck of a jump on Derek Love. Now down to the inside. Brad Delph. Tied knee. Stipian's up there as well, along with who is that? Yarrow's moved up to 8th position.
Yeah, he's on that same strategy as Stimpy and them too. I want to see these guys use these tires to their advantage and get the track position. We'll have to see if it works out. That caution timed out pretty well for them. Only about 5 laps on the tires, but they'll take any advantage they can get as they go down the back straightaway. Yarrow definitely dropping back. I think he's being conservative.
Yeah, Yarrow back to 9th now in that number 95. Todd Nice is going to get passed by not only Bush, but now Steven Stipien comes up underneath. Nice has moved back to the 7th position. Paul Cohen now trying to chase him down. Yarrow will be side by side with Hurlbut.
Yeah, and it's just going backwards. It seems like he's doing the same thing he did in the other race, just letting people by. You know, but looks like he'll hold that spot for now. But man, definitely want to re-spot him, especially with new tires. I'd like to see him go up there and try to challenge for this victory. You know he's got pace.
Dave Bush and Steve Stipien on the inside of James Bryan, trying to put him back into 6th position, and does. As they power out of 1, Dave Bush and Steven Stipien looking to get a run here. Whitley with the lead, Derek Love in 1st. Brad Delph, Derek. Take 2. Mark Whitley with the lead, Love in 2nd. Delph in 3rd, Bush 4th, Stipien in 5th, and you got James Bryan, Todd Nice, Paul Cohen, Keith Hurlbut, and then Stephen Leffler. Those two are battling side by side.
Yeah, these battles have been really good. This car, you know, I didn't know what to expect, what we'd see, but personally, it's looking pretty similar to what we see already with the Cup car we have with the current generation right now. You know, it'd definitely be interesting if we get all these cautions. Maybe I'll pull one of these drivers up here and get a talk to them, Lee, and see, you know, what they think about the differences are here at Pocono so far.
And Dave Bush is powered up to 3rd position, and now got Brad Delph right behind him and Stipien. They have caught up with Derek Love and Mark Whitley. Delph to the inside of Bush, heading to the tunnel turn.
Yeah, Bush made that big maneuver, then Delph drafted back to his inside there now in the tunnel turn. Can Bush hold on to it? I tell you what, Dave Bush looking rejuvenated this season here in the 53, going very strong here tonight at Pocono.
Yeah, and got a nice little push there from Steven Stipien. Caution. Looks like the 51 is in Paul Cohen. He's sitting with his booty up against the turn 3 sign.
That is no bueno. Yeah, that is a hurt race car. Unsure what happens. We'll go back here on the Freak Fast replay.
The Freaky Fast Cartage replays. We look at Paul Cohen in that number 51 machine. Got Yarrow on the inside, and he just comes down on Yarrow.
Yeah, he got into the wall. He was just kind of riding along, and tracked out, caught the wall at the right front, and then when he caught the wall, he jerked the wheel to the left and shot him straight into Yarrow. And Leffler takes some damage there too. Just an unfortunate incident there for those guys, and Paul not meaning to definitely do that. I mean, it ruined his race more than anybody's, but man, just unfortunate, a little mistake like that coming up to hurt a few guys.
So it'll be caution number 3 here at Pocono with SRU Sim Racing Unleashed. We are on race number 4 of season 10, the 10th season here at Sim Racing Unleashed. Running the next gen cars. Of course, is this the first season for them? First season for anyone if they decided to run it, because the daggum thing just came out.
That it did. Not even racing in real life. That's the amazing thing about iRacing.com, ladies and gentlemen. You can get yourself in a car before the real life drivers do themselves. Multiple cars already in iRacing like that, so it is a great platform. So make sure you go check out iRacing.com. But let's see if anybody pits here, Lee. I don't believe we're going to see any takers here on lap 27. Looks like everybody. Looks like Todd Neese maybe the first. Michael Yarrow, Steven Leffler, a few guys who got damaged from that wreck before. So they'll come down here. I don't think you want to take tires. That would be kind of pointless unless you haven't took tires already. So we'll have to see how it all shakes out. But man, we got a few guys still out here on the racetrack. I think I might bring down Mr. Steven Stippian. He ain't been down here and or at the racetrack here in a few weeks, and I'd like to hear what his thoughts are, because he's a past Pocono winner. He should know the differences between this car and the old car, so I'd like to just hear his thoughts. So we'll go ahead and bring him on down here and have a chat with Mr. Steven Stippian. Hey, Steven, it's Zach up in the booth, man. You got a copy?
Mr. Hall, how are you?
I'm doing fantastic, my friend. I tell you what, buddy, you making some big moves here already tonight. You took the lead there on the motor tires. That was a heck of a restart from you and really maneuver your way through, man. But you being a past Pocono winner here at SRU, now with the next gen Cup cars, describe to us what you're what you're learning new, and what is the same that you used to do also.
Tell you, these things, you can't break away from somebody. You know what I mean? It's hard to break away from anybody, even if you conserve your tires. I'd like to see a long run. Obviously, we've had some cautions. Let's see what I'm able to do. I can save the tires best, so let's see what happens.
Oh, you definitely can, buddy. I would love to see that long run come for you and see if you can get that 81 up front, man. What's the strategy you think looking like here? I mean, right now we're under caution on lap 28. What's the fuel load looking like, and what do you think the strategy is going to work out to be?
I guess it all depends on if we can get a long run. If we can get a long run, hopefully get some green flag, pit stops. I like to stay out as long as I can. I mean, I might give it away. My last set of tires was 94, 91, so my stuff was good.
Well, man, I tell you what, if you can keep the tires in pristine condition like that the rest of the night, these guys are going to have something to look for, man. And I'll tell you, we're watching out for you, because we know this is one of your best tracks, man. But congrats so far on the run. Good luck to you, and hopefully we talk to you at the end of this thing.
All right, thanks, buddy.
All right, everybody, that was Steven Stippian, your 81 driver here right there on the track. He is a past Pocono winner, like I said. This guy knows how to get around here, Lee.
Absolutely, as we get ready to go back green on this time around. It's going to be Whitley and Love in the front row, Bush and Delph at the second, Stippian and Hurlbut, there we go, in the third. Brian and Neese in the fourth, and Jones and Mark Koschik moves up to the last spot in row number 5, the 10th position. Darnell will be in 11th. Kevin Roy, Michael Yarrow, Stephen Leffler. Back there, Paul Cohen, Jason T. Adams, Cheswick, Clifton Ashley.
Got a whole group of people back there, man, and different strategies with different little, people with more fuel, more tires, more this and that. I mean, that's one thing. Ever since the tire limits have come in, it's been a real mind game with these cautions. We used to really never worry about a caution. We knew we'd have 5 laps on the tires. If we did, we had an unlimited set in there. We're coming down great, giving me 4 tires and fuel. But now you definitely have to think about each pit stop, and I love that.
It's amazing, because I've only been on iRacing for a little over a year now, and just the change that's happened in that amount of time. I remember when the tire limits were introduced. I remember when the super speedway drafting became intolerable. Remember all those things.
Yeah, all the changes we go through, man, all the pain we go through, it brings us to greatness here as they're getting ready to go back green.
Green flag waves, and Whitley has Bush right behind him. Derek Love on the high side with Bradley Delph. Stipien mixed up in that as well, along with James Bryant, Hurlbut, Jones, and Nice. Double fouling it down as we head into turn number 1. We'll see how this will shake out, because how you take this turn is really going to depend on how you come out through this. Whitley, and then you got Bush and Love door to door. Delph will overtake Stipien. Looks like Love will have that second place, but Dave Bush able to get inside of Derek Love, and that's going to be a race now. Josh Jones and Todd Neese battling.
Todd Neese has been very, very quick. I want to see if he can get himself back up in position. He was battling for the lead. Oh, man, almost contact between him and I believe that is it's the 12 of Kevin Roy. Very close between those two as they exit off of turn 3 and head down the straightaway with Robbie Darnell ahead of him. Todd Neese looking to get back up there from that second place qualifying position. Same with Josh Jones, too.
And Dave Bush and Steven Stipien looking to get by Derek Love. But Love has been holding his own on that high side. He's just looking for one of Todd Neese. He is driving right up. Josh Jones will overtake 7th. James Bryan back to 8th. Neese will be in 9th. And then you had some side drafting going on back behind them and just sucked the life out of it. Looked like Kevin Roy.
Yeah, I believe it was there, Lee. I believe it was the 12 there, and it really checked them all up there, man. But look at Dave Bush. He's got the girls on the banner. What do you know?
That's why he's my painter.
Yeah.
Dave Bush is if you're looking for a paint scheme, reach out to Dave. He doesn't do it all the time. But if he's got time for you, I tell you what, he's one of the most talented painters, especially when it comes to spec maps that I've ever seen. And he drives right up to the back of Mark Whitley. Dave Bush down to the inside.
What a maneuver. I said he was rejuvenated in the push from Stipien. The two teammates there from Smoke Inc. using their teamwork. And look at this. He's got another push. Dave Bush getting a nose ahead down here to the tunnel turn. Whitley tries the side draft, goes up high. Dave Bush to the lead to the tunnel turn. What a job for him. And now Stipien fighting with Mark Whitley off of turn 2. Can he side draft the pool close to him? He does get a nice little side draft even down into 3. Now Dave Bush pulling the gap as those two race side by side through 3.
Yeah, Stipien trying to pull some of those RPMs out of Mark Whitley, coming up at the side draft behind them. Derek Love, Bradley Delph, and Keith Hurlbut. We'll get that smoother in 6th position. Stipien now down to the inside. Whitley trying to make that high line work. Coming out of 1, they will be door to door. Look at the momentum that Whitley took out of 1 zone.
Literally, I mean, you got to think about this too. Everybody's working against Mark right now. And there's a bounty out on him. Our producer definitely has made it interesting for Mark Whitley. I think everybody out here is trying to take their best shot at him. But it's just showing me right now that side drafting is so huge because you slow each other so much down. I mean, Whitley got clear of them. He's almost pulled back up to Dave Bush. But these guys side by side here with Derek Love, Steven Stipien, Brad Delph, and Keith Hurlbut, they're all getting slowed down with these two side drafting like this, and the gap's growing up front.
It absolutely is. As Stipien close to Delph, falling back all the way to 5th position. And they're going to be door to door. Whitley with a nice run coming out of 1. Woo! Bush, close that door.
Yeah, he closed the door. That was risky business there. As Derek Love now coming up to him as they checked up for that. And this is going to bring the whole show back together as our top 9 are all within 2 seconds of each other.
Stipien with an excellent run out of the tunnel turn, looking to the inside of Brad Delph. That's going to be for 4th position. Stipien now half a car length as they go into 3. Looking to overtake Delph and get back up there with his teammate Dave Bush, who he pushed to the lead. Stimp will get in front of Delph, will solidify 4th position. Delph's going to push him down the front stretch. So you got Bush, Whitley, Love, Stimpy, and Delph, your top 5. Hurlbut, Neese, Jones, Yarrow, Leffler will round out your top 10. Pretty much every one of those guys, at least through Yarrow, are door-to-door. Whitley now to the high side as Love's looking down to the inside. Dude, can he make it stick? No. Had to lift. Got tight there. Whitley will keep second.
And what a drive this has been for Dave Bush up front. Here goes Whitley at the maneuver. Finally gets there. He gets a little bit to the quarter panel and pulls Bush back before the corner. But Dave Bush pulling pretty strong there. Down through the corner. Whitley, look at this. The whole train going by on the outside. And he's going to slide back almost to third.
Yeah, Whitley shot himself in the foot on that one as Love looking to overtake him now for that second position. Whitley tried to side draft Bush, but it slowed them both down. Now Whitley's going to come back behind, has to dive way down to the inside, and it just gave a shove to Love, and he goes to the high side around Dave Bush. Stipian's going to join him on the high side and look for something up there. Stip into third position. Bush slides back to second. Derek Love into first. Stipian comes out of one and says, sorry about you, Dave. I got to help this guy for a moment. Mark Whitley to the high side of Bush as well.
That's just showing that that draft is so strong. You could get freight trained by 4 cars in one straightaway by not being in the outside line. As Stippy's putting the pressure on Derek Love. This is just showing that this is going to be a race where you cannot put yourself in a bad position because you can lose track position in a matter of seconds.
In 2/3 of a lap, Dave Bush went from leading the race to now trying to hold on to 6th position and will lose it to Hurlbut. And Denise now back to 8th.
Man, what a job here. It looks like Stippian made it work, but Whitley, he's going to try to stick it to the inside of Stippian. He covers them off, and that's going to shoot Whitley at the track. Here comes Derek Love. What does Stippian do here? He pulls high to give Whitley the draft, and now he's going to pull low to give Love the draft. It's just going to be one of those things. Who does he want to give to? Keep them side by side, hard racing behind him.
Yeah, and Delph trying to figure out what's going on along with Josh Jones. Excellent recovery, moving up to 5th position. Stippian's going to be able to extend that lead. Whitley will clear Love, and now Brad Delph right on the backside of Derek Love going through 3. Josh Jones driving up to that. So we got 1 through 9 all the way through Yarrow. Jones looking to the inside of Delph down the front straightaway. And once again, we get to watch this side draft in action and see how much it allows these front 3 to pull away as Jones is trying to suck the life out of Brad Delph. I shouldn't have stopped it right there. I need to keep that thought going. Out of 1.
Out of 1 here, you can see, look at Whitley. He's still trying to do everything he can, and it just shows you the side draft. The drafting is so huge. Whitley with the big run now down to the tunnel turn. He actually got a pretty good side draft there. That's so steeping so much down. That slots him back beside Derek Love. Now Whitley back to the lead, back to the spot where he's been the last few weeks.
Here comes Brad Delph to the side of Derek Love as we come through 3. Whitley back into the lead, Step in second. Love will be third momentarily. Brad Delph now moves into third as we cross the line. Josh Jones trying to use some draft there. You also got Todd Neese. Derek Love trying to shut the door. Oh, Josh Jones. Jones turns him.
Yeah, that's definitely some hard racing there going on. And yeah, Love going for a hole. That was not there.
No, it was not. He tried to come up in front of Jones. Jones did not give him the courtesy lift and said, no, sir. You cannot occupy the same space in the time-space continuum as me at this moment. Derek Love tried to force the issue and caught the front end, went into that side wall. Good job for him of keeping it up at the top of the track. Dave Bush able to escape there underneath. Woo! Yarrow!
Whoa.
Yeah, we need to watch Yarrow's in-car on that one as Yarrow makes it past Derek Love's as he was just spinning like a top. Looks like the five of Hurlbut had to check up there too, as not to get into Yarrow. We're going to jump on board with Yarrow. We see the spin there. Yarrow, Ricky Bobby's this sucker, just keeps his cold trickle foot in it. Whoa! And squeezes through. You can even see out the mirror The tail end of Love's car is still going around.
What a shot there. A little bit of damage on the 95, but could have been a lot worse for him, guys. Could have been a lot worse. As you see, for the 87 Derek Love, he really, I mean, for as hard as he hit, he's really only lost the rear end. Now that I think will have a huge effect with this car, though.
Well, Josh Jones doesn't have a hood. I don't know how long he's been that way. But that happened on that incident. So Jones without a hood now, that's definitely going to affect him, especially here at Pocono.
Yeah, that's gonna. I mean, I don't want to say race over because I think we've seen Cedric Hunter at Texas do this. They fixed it and it was decent, but he was still very slow. So I don't think Josh Jones is gonna have that race winning pace that he had before. Probably gonna be hard to keep up with that lead pack, but he should still be able to complete laps with that car like that.
61 laps to go, and we're going to see a pit party this evening with SRU. Nice will once again keep it out on the track. Leffler stays out there. Holbert. Whitley. No, Whitley came down.
Yeah, it looks like most of the field come down. I think they're going to take their next set of tires because from here with 60 to go, Lee, I'm looking at this race. They should be able to make it 30 laps and then pit for their final time. Green to make it to the end. So should be able to do 30 laps under green. We'll be able to see, but looks like Whitley not taking tires here. Looks like Stimpian also not taking tires. So guys still saving sets of tires at the moment.
They raced it to the line out the pit box.
Try to get that track position.
Yep, absolutely. Whitley will be in 4th. Stimpian in 5th. Dave Bush in 6th, Delphin 7th, Darnell 8th, James Bryan 9th, Michael Yarrow in 10th. Your top 3 stayed out. That's going to be Todd Neese, Keith Hurlbut, and Stephen Leffler.
Well, at the moment, it's going to be interesting to see how Todd Neese can do. I mean, we've had a good bit of caution laps here and there I think that's going to help Neese a little bit with the older tires, but we definitely did get a good, decent run there that time, actually. So we'll have to see. Like I said, you got 3 guys that stayed out, and then the rest of the field who pitted, they could be sitting ducks here.
Could be indeed. Lap 41 of 100. We got 60 laps to go. Caution number 4 with SRU. Sim Racing Unleashed here on Freaky Fast Broadcasting. Your Sunday Night Thunder main event from Pocono Raceway in Long Pond, Pennsylvania. I almost said New Mexico. I don't know why I was going to say New Mexico for.
Our producer's talking about food. Now he just took me off subject. I don't know what I was going to say something, and then he started talking about food, and I heard Chinese food, and I got really hungry.
I don't eat Chinese food.
I mean, I'm not like a huge fan of Chinese food. It's like, but I could definitely indulge in it.
I don't know. There's something about, I don't know. I just can't do it. But I'm the meat and potatoes guy anyway. I don't eat vegetables either. Water and vegetables are like, my kryptonite.
Kryptonite. Don't give Lee his water and vegetables and he'll be all right. Just Mountain Dew.
Mountain Dew and hamburger, and we're good. With some cheese.
I was about to say a cheeseburger, right?
Cheeseburger. Cheeseburger in paradise.
With some bacon on it.
Dude. No, I want some Five Guys.
I had Five Guys 2 nights ago, and it was so good.
We had O'Charlie's 2 nights ago.
Ooh. I mean, we're going to need these guys to put the hyperdrives on your Pocono. My stomach is going to start growling. So if you guys hear a bear in the woods or something, that's probably my stomach. It is going to be hungry at some point here.
A bear doing what in the woods?
Growling.
So Todd Neese trying to make another gamble here on the pit strategy. Will lead this race. Holbert will be in second on the high side. Leffler and Whitley, Stipien and Bush, Delph, Darnell, Brian, and Yarrow will round out your top 10. We're going to go back green. When we come around this time, we're on lap 42. We'll be 43 when we cross the line. Pace car comes off. Let's see what Nice will do here with Leffler right behind him. And you got Whitley pushing Holbert. Stipien also looking to make something happen here. Dave Bush and Bradley Delph behind them.
So that inside line push forward here.
Yeah, especially with these restarts at Pocono. It's so interesting in the way that the speed gathers and then the way the field will separate and shake out through one.
It's literally one of these scariest restart zones in the drive. If a guy lays back and times it just right, they can get such a big run from so far back, and it can create some pretty major issues going down the one where guys dive in there late and make crazy maneuvers. But everybody here doing a good job tonight with some great racing down there. No issues yet.
Leffler falling backwards. Kind of got hung on that inside. Now Brad Delph looking high side Stipien. Nothing going. Has to fall back behind him. Use the draft. Get around Leffler. Whitley in third moves back up. Dave Bush looking to the high side of Leffler now.
And I tell you, Whitley, he almost knocked the right side of the car off. He was so close to doing it that he almost, I think he about slammed on brakes in the corner to not hit the wall, and that let Stipien and Delph go forward here. As you can see, Leffler still stuck on the inside. Remember, he's on older tires still. So definitely trying to hold on to everything he's got with a little bit of damage, too, from an earlier wreck.
Yeah, Robbie Darnell will pass him. And now Kevin Roy looking to the high side as well. Actually, Roy's going to get passed by Yarrow, who comes flying up underneath to the inside of Dave Bush. He's going to be James Bryan now as they're approaching the back end of Whitley. Through three.
Got some friends.
Absolutely does. Stipien got a friend in Brad Delph right now, pushing him down the front stretch.
Oh, man, look at that huge push. That run is amazing.
Wait, that was just muscle.
Yeah.
Pure muscle right there.
And look, Dill said, I pushed down the straightaway. I'm going to stick it 3 wide on the exit here. Oh, this could get hairy, guys, going down to the tone turn. Here comes James Bryan. Is he going to make a 4 wide? No, he's not.
They're going 4 wide down the straightaway. Stipien's like, go ahead, boys. He ducked out of that one quick, which is also going to allow Whitley to come around. What a move by James Bryan, catapulting up into third position. Brad Delph in fourth. Mark Whitley will be in fifth. Stipien will fall back to sixth. Now Dave Bush looking to catch up with Stipp as we go around 3. Todd Nice is watching his rearview mirror with these old tires going, y'all fight it out, fellas. I am totally okay with that.
I tell you what, James Bryan, your rookie of the year last season, big maneuver from him there. Any other time I would say that's a pretty dumb move, but he made it work. So sometimes dumb stuff works. He made it work, made it live through there. And man, I mean, there's huge bumps down there. He took a huge risk by doing that.
Delph to the inside of Whitley will overtake fourth position. Here comes Stipien, Dave Bush as well. Whitley had a terrible exit out of 1 right there.
And while all this has happened, Todd Nice, who stayed out on the older tires, he's just out here cruising, riding along. He's saying, guys, it's all good. And, I can also, I keep saying new tires, but I think also Whitley and the 81 Steven Stipien getting to take tires. That's possibly why James Bryan looking so fast as he's caught up to our leader, Todd Nice, as he's on a new set of tires.
Yeah, James Bryan looking to take the lead here with 54 to go on the inside of Nice, going down the front stretch and down into 1. James Bryan will have the lead. Now here comes Delph to the inside of Nice. Nice closes the door there in 1. Delph had to lift, but he had a run, Zach. Oh, Whitley! Whitley got loose coming out of 1. Jones tapped him in the back end.
Wow, and Josh Jones, somehow his front end is not bad for how much damage he had before.
He's got a hood now.
He's definitely got more parts than he had before.
So James Bryan will take the lead. Now Brad Delph to the inside of Todd Nice coming out of 3, looking to overtake second position. Not taking tires is now starting to catch up with Todd Nice. He's fallen back to 3rd. So James Bryant will take his lead. Brad Delphin second. Nice will be in third. Big gap then. Keith Hurlbut, Mark Whitley, who just overtakes Hurlbut for fourth position. Jones now looking to the inside of Hurlbut. Currently running in sixth. Stippian in seventh. Bush eighth. Darnell ninth. Michael Yarrow in 10th position.
Well, Josh Jones jumps into the high line here, and that 5 had to check up a little bit. That lets Steven Stippian get a run. He's got teammate Dave Bush behind him, too, in that 53, giving him a push. Steven Stippian about a 5. Keith Hurlbut also.
Yeah, Bush looking to keep it going underneath. That's Hurlbut right now. Now Jones looking to the inside of Whitley. Power move through 3. Overtakes Whitley. Josh Jones up to 4th position.
And, man, with that damage, he is driving the wheels on the thing. I mean, I know he's probably got new tires on it compared to Whitley, but with that damage, he's hanging on pretty well. I thought he'd be way slower. I think he is in the straightaway a good bit slower, as you see. Whitley easily passes him, and here comes Stippian to the inside. Definitely hurting on speed.
Yeah, but see the turns. He's turning so much better than everyone else. That's where he's getting the run. Comes right up and now trying to side draft off of Whitley. That is a battle for 4th position. Brad Delph overtakes James Bryant. We got a battle for the lead right now, fellas.
Oh, yes, we do. Delph takes that lead. He's off and away. And look at Todd Neese. He says, I'm coming back too. Remember me? I stayed out.
So Delph into the lead. James Bryant in second. Todd Neese in third. They will level that back out. Then you've got the battle back with Mark Whitley and Steven Stippian to the inside of Whitley, exiting 3. Coming across the line, Whitley will have the slight advantage, a half a car length lead over Steven Stippian. As we go down through the front stretch, heading into 1. Stippian looking to get that monster turn, diving down into 1. Overtake Whitley. Back behind Whitley now will be Dave Bush. You got Yarrow making a move, looking to come around Hurlbut. 3 wide. Hurlbut's going to get into someone. That's Robbie Darnell.
Oh,
Caution.
man, there's a caution. Hurlbut.
Hurlbut, Darnell get into each other going 3 wide. Out of 1. We'll go back to the Freaky Fast Carnage replay and see exactly what happened there on lap number 50. Right here, we getting to go 3 wide. Yarrow to the high side, Hurlbut in the middle, Darnell to the inside. He just came down. I don't think he saw Darnell coming.
Yeah, I think he's seen the 95 on his outside. Maybe thought, oh, man, I'll give him room. And then the 44 was there. So really nowhere for a go. And Keith Hurlbut involved in that yellow.
That'll be our 5th caution of the evening. As we are halfway, ladies and gentlemen, what we're going to do is we're going to take a quick break under caution here. When we come back, we have the second half of this race, the dramatic conclusion of the Sim Racing Unleashed race number 4, the Budget Sim Box 250 from Pocono here on Freaky Fast Broadcasting. We'll be back in just 2 minutes. Coming through the tunnel turn, we will go green next time around. James Bryant, Todd Neese will be row number 1. Josh Jones, Brad Delph, row 2. Steven Stimpy and Mark Whitley in the 3rd row. Yarrow and Bush. Yarrow up the 7th position. Yarrow and Bush in row 4. And Koscheck and Kevin Roy in row number 5. James Bryant up 11 spots from his starting position. So a big mover for him this evening. Lee Tidwell, Zach Hall, and Robert A. Moya here with Sim Racing Unleashed. 48 laps to go. Zach, we get ready to go green, sir.
Yes, sir. Getting ready to go back. Green flag racing early. James Bryan out front. Let's see how this shakes on out.
Green flag waves by Barney the Flat Guy. Here we go. Huge jump by Neese and Josh Jones on the high side. Brad Delph trying to figure out something around James Bryan. They're going to stack it up there on the bottom row along with Whitley, and it looks like Dave Bush. Through 1.
Well,
James
Bryan,
Bryan, goes to the high side, gets hit by Josh Jones. Man, he got tight.
Yeah, just way too much speed in the center there for that 52. And, man, I'm surprised he didn't take the wall down there. And Josh Jones there had to really check up not to run him over.
And that's hurt Jones just as much as it hurt him. Jones now back to 6, and Dave Bush looking to the inside of him to overtake that spot. Whitley looking to overtake 3rd and pass Bryan going into turn number 3 here. And then you've got Stipien in 5th, just kind of watching what's going along. We complete the first lap of the restart, and we will shake out the front 5. And then we'll have Jones working Dave Bush for 6th position.
Dave Bush trying his best to get back up in here to the lead, but Delph taking the lead from Todd Neese very quickly. Neese sliding back, and there comes James Bryan. They're also going to have Steven Stipien behind there. Stevie Stipien jumps up out to the outside there to push Todd Neese down the straightaway.
Whitley looking for the lead to Bradley Delph going into the tunnel turn. Whitley dives down inside, will have the lead. And back in the front of the pack, Brad Delph in 2nd, Neese 3rd. Then Stipien will be 4th, followed by James Bryan. Then you'll have Dave Bush and Josh Jones side by side, battle for 6th. Kevin Roy in 8th, Hurlbut in 9th, and Yarrow back to 10th position through 3. Across the start-finish line, we now will have 45 laps to go. Stipien to the inside of Neese, looking for a little of that side draft action and trying to overtake 3rd position.
And Stipien trying to, there he goes, he clears Neese. Here comes James Bryan also, who made a wild dive down there to the inside. Here comes Dave Bush to make it 3 wide. He dives it way down there. This could get sticky, guys.
It really could. Bush now looking down to the inside. It's going to allow James Bryan to get back to the high side, followed by Jones there. Bush will get back into his rhythm and even it back out.
And he's trying everything to do to
Battle
get by
for 2nd.
Bryan. Yeah, now Stipien to the inside. Wow, there goes Dave Bush to the inside. James Bryan, he takes that position from that 52 machine. The 53 goes up to the top 5 as his teammate Steven Stipien takes 2nd for Brad Delph as Whitley out is trying to charge away out front.
Mark Whitley trying to get as far away from all this as possible. Plus, you can't get side drafted if nobody's around you. And that's exactly what's happened to Stipien and Brad Delph at the moment as they come out of the turn number 1. You've got Neese and Bush side by side behind them. Then you got Bryan and Kevin Roy side by side. So just giving Mark Whitley the opportunity just to set sail like in a journey song.
Dave Bush now all over the back of Delph. Stipien, who are racing is super hard for this position, trying to get everything they can. But Stipien, will he clear here off of 3? Yes, he will. He's going to have to help a teammate, Dave Bush. Dave Bush looking really strong here tonight. A great run for that.
And that's something that Whitley's got to look at now. With Stipien and Bush being able to hook up, they can run him down.
Oh, they definitely can. That's the big thing is, Whitley is way out there, Lee, 2 seconds ahead. But is Dave Bush and Stipien, don't try to pass each other, just hook up right here and try to drive away from the guys behind them. They should be able to run this 77 down with the help of both of those drivers pushing each other.
It's going to depend on what Brad Delph is going to do right behind them along with Kevin Roy. Are they going to try to race them, or are they going to just get in line and drive with them? Is Whitley now a 2-second lead over second place Steven Stipien, driving it down into 3, hugging the yellow line. Stipien, Busch, Delph, and then Roy now going to go to the inside of Delph, exiting 3. That's going to allow Stipien and Busch to get a little distance between 4th and 5th. Then you've also got Jones and Todd Neese door to door.
And they got Hurlbut right behind them too in the 5. So a lot of hard racing. You can already see just how much side-by-side racing slows you down today with this side draft. It's critical. I mean, you can have guys battling for second, really holding each other up and letting the leader get away. It's going to be a situation that you're going to have to think about now as a drivers. You know, yeah, we can race side by side, but if I don't get this done quickly, I'm just going to slow both of us down.
Yeah, and it really has, considering the fact that this group back here with Todd Neese, Josh Jones, Hurlbut, all of them, they have now dropped seconds beyond seconds behind this front pack. Whitley will continue to lead, Stipien in 2nd, Dave Busch 3rd, Kevin Roy in 4th, Brad Delph in 5th, and then you're going to drop back to Josh Jones in 6th, who is being challenged by Hurlbut now, along with Todd Neese as well. They go underneath Jones. Ooh, Jones almost got tapped. But James Bryant, Leffler now to the inside of Bryant.
Oh, we got a trick out here. Oh, I think I know who Mr. Colley's talking about. It's not me. Yeah, I stick with my teammates and I help them out, but we got a certain teammate who likes to shine, and not even him. Seems like we got one that always thinks about winning only, and doesn't think about the team. But definitely some interesting stuff out there in the chat from Mr. Colley.
Whitley with a 2.2 second lead over Steven Stipien at the moment. Dave Busch right behind him, Kevin Roy, then Brad Delph. These guys kind of working together, trying to chase down Mark Whitley. Bump draft there from Busch.
Our producers actually right now just said this too. He's wondering how Stipien and Busch are not catching up to Whitley. I mean, they aren't. It's a 54.65 out front, a 54.59 for Stipien. That's not going to get it done. That's only a couple hundredths of a second. And the thing is, pit stops should start happening here in the next 10 to 15, maybe 20 laps. And from there, if he can get even farther out, it'll be real big trouble.
Yeah, as you said, only about a 10th difference in the time. So it's going to take 20 plus laps at this pace for Stipien and him to even make a charge at Whitley, and that's not going to happen.
Oh, we got Brandon responding back to me out here in the chat. He says it is a little bit of both of me, or both of us. So interesting. I'll have to talk to Brandon Colley about that in private. But it was actually Pocono is what he's talking about. Yeah, it's 3 wide racing, but yeah, definitely an interesting track that, especially this side draft though. That side draft is throwing a lot of stuff into the picture, but now looking at the ticker, they've seemed to catch him somewhat. They're just about to break under 2 seconds here, but they're going to need to do more than that. Once they get though within a second and a half of Whitley, they should start to get a draft from him, and that will definitely have a bigger effect.
And then back behind all of them, Hurlbut, Neese, Leffler, Jones, and Darnell trying to catch up with that group of Steven Stipien, Dave Busch, Kevin Roy, and Brad Delph. They kind of got a nice little thing going here.
They really do.
Leffler quits trying to pass Neese.
Yeah, Leffler's trying to get everything engaged, but as soon as you start to race like that, you slow the whole pack down. So it's a kind of a catch-22 situation there for these guys. You want to get as many positions as you can and get your track position because you think you can go faster. But sometimes it's just better to stay behind and push that guy.
37 laps to go. Lap 64 of 100 here from Pocono. Sim Racing Unleashed on Freaky Fast Broadcasting. Thank you once again, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us here on your Sunday night as we look forward to another week starting tomorrow. I say we're looking forward to it. I could totally be making that up. You might not be looking forward to it because I guarantee you I'm not looking forward to 5 a.m. tomorrow morning.
No, sir. Not fun.
Not at all. And so our producer can't read. It's Black Rifle Coffee Company. he thought that they were holding a raffle for straight black coffee.
Gotta love it.
At times.
At times. Yeah, true.
So Whitley still with about a 2-second lead. Kayla is in chat. Stipien will wreck. Let's go to him right now. Stip has Dave Bush behind him. Then Kevin Roy. Kayla spoke up in chat. Will the curse bite her fiance? Right in his little tushy here on lap 65. Nice is on the radio saying he's going to come in and pit. He hasn't pitted since lap 28, Zach.
That's true. I didn't even think about Nice's stay out for so long here. That is definitely he's having a pit. Coming down right here to complete this lap, he'll be 35 to go. That's on the edge. I mean, he had a lot of caution laps to get to here. I would be worried if I'm Todd Nice making it to the end of this race.
Going to be very, very interesting. Still 1.9 second gap between Whitley and Stipien. Hey, Kayla, you can't leave. He ain't wrecked yet. It's his curse, not yours. And Brad Delph has really fallen off the pace of those of Stipien, Bush, and Kevin Roy as well.
He really has. He's just dropped back out of nowhere, 55.6. He's half the second slower than the rest of this field. And Stipien that time, a couple tenths quicker than Whitley. He breaks it under that 2-second mark, but it's got the 1.9 before, and it kind of just stays there.
Yeah, so trying to see if they're actually going to be able to catch up. They could definitely use a caution right now. This is going to be Mark Whitley in the lead, Stipien in second, Dave Bush third, Kevin Roy fourth, Brad Delph in fifth, then Hurlbut in sixth, Leffler seventh, Josh Jones in eighth, Robbie Darnell ninth, James Bryan in 10th position. Yarrow, talked about him at the beginning of the broadcast, he's back in 12th. Todd Nice in that one in 14th after he pitted. Precious tires on the track, so we'll see what Todd Nice can do.
Yeah, he should be able to make up a good bit of time to do tires. But the only thing is he has nobody to draft off of. Kind of all by himself right here. We'll see how it works out for him. I just worry about him making it on fuel. 35 laps, a long way to go here at the Pocono, Pennsylvania Raceway. 2.5 miles here. Very hard to save fuel also with these long straightaways.
Yeah, you can't clutch it here.
No, sir. I mean, you can do it. It's hard to do, though. I mean, down into one is probably the easiest place to do it. Tunnel turn, you really can't do it because you got to jump back in the gas early. 3 and 4, you're not out of the gas. 3, you're not really out the gas too much. It's a flatter corner. But you do carry a good bit of throttle there on the late exit. But down into 1, I imagine these guys are lifting a pretty good bit. So 1 is possibly a place to save some fuel, but if it's really the only spot, so it's hard to do.
32 laps to go here at Pocono with Sim Racing Unleashed. I'd like to thank everyone for joining us here on YouTube on Freaky Fast Broadcasting. for this excellent next-gen car action. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Click on that little notification bell to let you know of all the great broadcasts on Freaky Fast. We'll come to you every night of the week, but Fridays, we make up for that by doing it twice on Sundays. And we are with our premiere broadcast here this evening, your Sunday night obsession, Sim Racing Unleashed. We have 32 laps to go from Long Pond, Pennsylvania. Pocono, Mark Whitley has been dominant this race and continues to be dominant, but the lead now has shrunk, Zach, to 1.4 seconds.
Yeah, it's definitely starting to shrink now. This is the time they're gaining the most right here. And Whitley starting to struggle a little bit. 55-58 last time to Steven Stympian, 55-17. We heard Steven Stympian talk about he wanted a long run. Well, him and his teammate Dave Bush got one, and they also got a little friend here helping out of Kevin Roy. I like what I'm seeing out of that 12-2. He's looking strong.
Yeah, and a nice push there by Dave Bush. Coming into 3. Stympian and Bush now 1.2 seconds behind Mark Whitley. Exiting 3 down the front stretch. Let's check out these times this time, Zach. Whitley with a 55.561. Stympian a 55.327.
Yeah, gaining again 1.2 seconds, and now they're going to start to really get a big draft from that 77. He's also catching a 52 at James Bryan right here. That's not going to help him one bit at all. The draft will help down the straightaway, but here in the corner, he does not like this feeling. We also been watching him here a little bit. He sticks his left front tire here on the apron. That's telling me he's pretty tight in this race car. If he does it again, he's using that to help turn. Yes, he does. Look, drops it below the yellow line. That right there is going to help that car want to rotate and turn a little better. So definitely probably struggling with the tight race car down there in the tail turn.
1.2 seconds separate Whitley and Steven Stympian. And it'll be 29 laps to go when we cross the line. Whitley trying to use James Bryan to get a little bit of draft here, trying to stretch that lead back out just a bit. But I tell you what, when Bush is able to get those good runs, he's did nothing but help Stympian with some little shoves there. Then Kevin Roy, you know, not part of that team, but playing his part perfectly and staying right there in that draft.
Yeah, he's doing exactly what he's supposed to do here as he had a little bit of a look, but jumps back in line there to give Bush the push. Bush the push.
Giggity.
Oh, man, what a day. As Stympian and them, they actually lost some time last time by 55-40 out front to a 55-55 behind. And Roy's been taking a few looks on Bush. If he feels like he can make this work, he might be able to stick it out there. But, man, Stympian's going to need Dave Bush to get closer. I think Dave Bush starting to fall off possibly.
Well, not only that, Whitley's got James Bryan.
Been
Able to use him just a slight bit. Now, Bryan has pulled to 1.2 seconds ahead of Whitley, but every time he gets that little sniff of a draft, that seems to be where Whitley is then pulling it on out a little bit farther.
Yeah, we'll have to see now that Whitley's going to lose that draft here in the next few laps as Bryan's on the new tires. We'll have to see if they'll be able to pull that gap back up because it's back over 1.6, and they're going to need to do more than that because pit stops, like I said, are coming soon. You want to be able to get to them before the pit stops, I believe, so you can have a full run there right with them.
Lap 73 of 128 laps to go. Mark Whitley will continue to lead. Steven Stympian in second, Dave Bush third, Kevin Roy fourth, Brad Delphin fifth. Lap times this time around 55.890 for Whitley to a 55.713 for Stympian.
Stympian's going to need to make up. I mean, they're making time. They're definitely doing it. But, you know, the thing is, Whitley's doing this by himself when they get there. Are they going to have enough? Here comes Roy. He's going to go to the inside here. This is not going to help them very much here. Racing side by side, not giving Steven Stympian that push down the straightaway to catch that leader.
Well, Bush kind of, I'm not sure if he lifted and let him on by or what. Bush might have been falling off enough that he's letting Roy go on by to see if him and Stimp can't close that gap a little bit more.
You know, it could be a valid point there, Lee. If Roy feels like he's faster than Bush there, then Bush needs to let Roy push. You know, so so he can get up there and push that 81 forward, and then Bush could possibly hang on there and have a shot at that. So I like some bit of strategy there, but that time by Whitley a little bit quicker, 55.56, but a 55.69 behind there. And yeah, you know, that is something interesting. 5-year speed cars now with a sequential gearbox. You see in 5th gear all the way around this racetrack. It's a really cool thing to see. And yeah, I'm interested. It doesn't look like nobody's changing 4th right now. So it definitely like a 5th gear type of deal. And pretty much 5th gear has become our new 4th gear. So 4th gear is now pretty much like our old 3rd gear. It's just kind of backwards now.
Robbie Darnell is not helping Stympian, Roy, and Bush as he is side by side with Roy now. Roy was making a run with Stimp, and Darnell's kind of killing that momentum. Dave Bush yelling, "Just get out of the way, son."
Yeah, Darnell there, you know, not probably trying to do a big effect there, but just racing side by side with these guys, that's a huge effect. See if he can help push these guys. Bush with a big run to the back of Kevin Roy. Looks like he stuck his nose out there for a second. As Darnell will look too. They're all lined back up again, but 25 to go. Like I said, pit stops should be transpiring pretty quickly. These guys got to start catching up, and Kevin Roy he pushes there in the tone turn. Now they Bush to his inside. See all this racing going back and forth. These guys, it is holding this pack up.
Definitely is. It's given Mark Whitley the opportunity just to continue to try to pull that gap. Whitley will run a 55.743 to a 55.613 for Stimp. But Stimp needs that help from Roy or Bush, one of them. And them battling side by side just keeps pulling them on back. And then you've got Robbie Darnell running in that 14th position. See what he does to the backside of Bush. Be a good one.
24 to go. They're going to need to get everything they can here as they're going through the tone turn. At times, staying around 1.6 to 1.5. Whitley has sustained this lead. I mean, past season champion. The guy is on a roll. He's looking unbeatable at the moment in this next-gen car. And that's definitely got to make this field have some type of fear going through the rest of the season.
23 to go. Whitley will continue to lead it. Stympian, Roy, Bush, and Delph, your top 5. Hurlbut, Love, Yarrow, Koscheck, and Todd Neese will round out your top 10.
It looks like Neese, that strategy of having him pit there on 35 right now, 41 seconds behind the leader. I believe he'll come out with the lead when this all cycles through, possibly. 41 seconds seems about how much of a delta there is. I believe it's about 42 seconds here. So he should technically come out right in the lead in front of our leader. And he, each lap by, he's also about a half a second quicker. So he's definitely gaining time. But in my opinion, Whitley won't be that far behind when he comes out with the new tires. It should be easy pickings for him.
Go through with 22 to go now. Still got a pit stop left to go. Whitley in the lead. 1.4 separates him and Stympian.
Now, the next question, Lee, these guys that are up front, I'm pretty sure this will be their last set of tires for the night. You could pit now, make it to the end, and undercut these guys. But my thing is, if you get a caution, that's your last set. If you take them too early, then you're going to be a sitting duck when it comes to this final portion of this race. Todd Neese, though, in the one, I believe he still has a set of tires left, so he's kind of in the boat where he has a lot of options. If it goes green here, he still should be able to pull off a pretty decent finish if he can make it on fuel. And then if he gets a caution, he'll have the option to put on a new set of Goodyear tires. And I tell you what, it could be in Todd Neese's favor if that all plays out that way.
Stympian coming in, Dave Bush coming in.
The teammates from Smoke Inc. hitting pit road. Kevin Roy's going to stay out. And I think that's a good decision. The tires really, they fall off. We're looking at you know, these guys running in the low 53-second bracket, or I mean the high 53-second bracket, they're these runs in the upper 55. So I mean, you're looking at upwards of 2 seconds of fall off, but oh no, Stimpy, and you'll see him slide through the box. That's gonna have a major impact to his pit time there. But yeah, this is all gonna shake out pretty interestingly. We'll have to see what those 1 lap tires do for them.
Even with sliding through, he finishes his pit stop same time Dave Bush does.
Wow, he actually, yeah, he did. He got out ahead of him. That was actually pretty crazy how he still got out ahead. And we'll see where he comes out in relationship to Todd Nice. I believe Nice, he's going down the back straightaway now out of 1, as you see Stimpy and them coming out of 1 now. So Nice with about a 4 or 5 second gap back to Stimpy and them.
Very interesting. Stimp and Bush going to work together, see what they can do. Mark Whitley maintains the lead. Kevin Roy into second. Brad Delph third. Derek Love fourth. Yarrow into fifth. Hurlbut into sixth. Todd Neese seventh. Stimpy in eighth. Dave Bush ninth. Josh Jones in 10th. Hurlbut into the pits as we speak. He's going to fall back now.
Yeah, he's going to fall back a good bit. But so he's had a good showing tonight for the first couple of these races for him. I expect big things out of this guy to come throughout the rest of the season here as he's about to exit pit road now.
The Captain Laserhawk doesn't seem too happy on YouTube. Not sure exactly who that is or what happened. But we'll try to get the skinny on that, get a little bit of tea for Kermit after this race is over. 19 to go, Zach. And the field kind of all spread out. And now it's just basing everything on when people take this last pit stop.
Yeah, this is gonna be a very interesting sequence. I mean, Whitley's still out there. We'll have to see when he comes. He still isn't coming down this time. He's gonna come to 18 to go. You know, 55.73 this time by. Steven Stimpy in 55.22. I like what Whitley's doing. He's stretching it out. But at some point, he's going to have to come in. He's losing way too much time to the guys up ahead of him.
Yeah, that's the thing. The longer he stays out, the more he lets the guys that have the fresh tires, the Stimpians, the Dave Bushes, the Kevin Roy, who pitted on, just now pitted, he's going to fall back. But I mean, you give them opportunities to climb back in even farther before you hit your pit road, and then you've got that 41, 42, 45 seconds on pit road.
Well, looking at Yarrow, transverse around the track at the moment in that 95 machine. He's still in that 5th position. Have to see where it all shakes out for him.
So Whitley's still going to keep it out here. We have 17 laps to go. Looking back into the field, Leffler and Josh Jones, a battle for 9th position. Both of those guys pitted on lap 74.
Lee, I've really questioned Whitley's strategy. I'm a little bit speechless right now. I'm just trying to think in my head why he's stretching as far. The only thing I can think, Lee, personally, is he's worried about a caution.
Quite possibly. Stimpian moving up to 5th position.
I tell you what, he'll be coming by this time here to complete lap 84. That's 30 laps into this run here. So Nice, if Whitley can go another couple laps, Nice should be within realm to make it. So tell you what, Nice, he just got passed by Snippy and about to get passed by Dave Bush. He still is in play for a possible top 5.
As you said, 16 to go. Whitley in the lead, Delph in second, Love in third, Yarrow fourth, Stimpian into 5th position. Todd Nice now gets passed by Dave Bush for 6th. So you can see the effects of newer tires to older tires as we're looking at the 14 of Bradley Delph. Delph is running in second position. He is 9 seconds ahead of Derek Love and umpteen seconds behind Mark Whitley.
And here comes Whitley coming down this time. It's going to be 15 to go. I think when he comes out here, guys, he's going to be upwards of 10 to 11 seconds back.
Let's see here. Stipien is going into the tunnel turn. I know he's in 5th position, but he's the first one on the fresh tires. As Whitley comes all the way down pit road, just now pulling into his box. Stipien coming through 3. That's the race right there. Mark Whitley still on pit road. Stipien, 6 seconds, 5 seconds, 4 seconds, 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1. Steven Stipien will overtake Mark Whitley and move himself up to 3rd position. Derek Love in the lead, Yarrow in 2nd, Stipien 3rd, Bush 4th, Todd Neeson 5th. Whitley will come out into 6th with Kevin Roy in 7th position on the backside of Whitley.
Man, I really don't know what. We'll have to see what it comes out for Whitley there, but that was a blazing job by him to get out of there where he's at. He is still within great distance of these guys. Personally, I don't think he'll have any trouble driving up through.
Whitley goes underneath Neese. Now trying to chase down Dave Bush. Whitley back up to 5th position now. Derek Love, Michael Yarrow yet to pit this lap 52. They're still going to have to hit the can one more time.
Oh, they definitely will. And, that lets me know that Neese is going to be able to make it there, Lee. That's good for him in the 1. But the rest of these guys, I think they're just trying to hope for some type of yellow here to take their last set under that yellow.
Whitley looking to the high side of Dave Bush. Bush is going to close the door on Whitley. Roy drives up to the back of Whitley. Now they look down to the inside. Dave Bush, little rolling roadblock here. Trying to keep Whitley at bay.
He held him up a good little bit there. I mean, he doesn't want to hold himself up too much either because here comes Kevin Roy. And that number 12 machine looks like he's going to slide possibly up here to 3rd. Dave Bush fighting hard for this position now.
He is trying not to pull down in front and throw the block on Kevin Roy. Dave Bush with the momentum off of 3 will keep that spot and stay in 4th position. Roy in 5th, Todd Neeson 6th.
And Derek Love out there still, he has yet to pit. We know that, so definitely he's going to have to pit here at some point with 13 to go. But Steven Stipien, he will be our race leader when it all cycles through. But Whitley very quickly approaching on this number 81.
Whitley's got 2 seconds over Stipien at the moment. Dave Bush is a second behind Whitley. Nobody benefiting from the draft. 13 laps to go. Derek Love in the 87 continues to lead and will stay out. Whitley across the start-finish line. 1.6 seconds behind Steven Stipien. Dave Bush and Kevin Roy door-to-door.
Yeah, those two racing hard, and Whitley's going to definitely be chopping into that lead here pretty quickly, Stipien. But what will Stipien have here when it comes down to the end? That'll be the question. We know how good he is at Pocono. This is one of his best racetracks. If anybody can figure out how to hold this 77 off with the fresher tires, it's going to be Steven Stipien. But I just think it may be too much, as, I mean, lap 79 all the way to 85. I figured the gap would have been bigger, but it's not.
Here comes Derek Love into the pits. That will put Stipien into the lead. Now we got a race, fellas. Stipien and Whitley across the start-finish line. 11 laps to go. Whitley with a 6-lap tire advantage on Steven Stipien.
Well, guys, Steven Stipien, like I said, he's the man. He is a great driver here, but 6 laps tire difference is a huge difference you're going to see coming out of 1 here. Just look at the run the 77 has. He has the draft now. He may be able to make a move before we go down to the tunnel turn. The Stippian defend. He does not. He does a late maneuver. That could have been disastrous. Here's we go down the back straightaway into the tunnel turn, round the outside for Whitley. He says, sayonara, see you later. I want to win another race.
Steven Stippian trying not to lose the draft here of Mark Whitley as Whitley, little shake and bake, dove to the inside. Stippian goes for the block, pulls it up high, will overtake the lead with 10 to go. And now Stippian drops back to 5 seconds, not 5 seconds, 5/10 of a second, half a second behind Mark Whitley as we drive it down into 1. As you said, Zach, Stippian, a master at Pocono, but Mark Whitley looking to string together another victory here with Sim Racing Unleashed. Whitley just trying to, look at him trying to break that draft.
Yeah, he's trying to do everything he can to do is get this lead built up. And personally, I don't think there's any chance for Stimpy being able to latch on here. The difference is just too much with the tires. You know, Stimpy played the right strategy, though. He had to pull something different than the 77 to have a shot at it, I believe. He did what he had to. Looks like he'll have to settle for second, though.
Across the line with 9 to go. Mark Whitley now with a 9/10 of a second lead over Steven Stippian. Kevin Roy will be in 3rd position. He is 2.9 behind Stippian. Dave Bush, 8/10 of a second behind Kevin Roy. Todd Neeson 5th. Then you've got Josh Jones, Stephen Leffler, James Bryant, Bradley Delph, and Hurlbut to round out your top 10. Mr. Stippian says Whitley is so strong. Absolutely, sir.
Yeah, Willie has been definitely strong, Mr. Stippian. But I tell you what, your son, he's gave him a good run for his money tonight here. Just seems like that time he lost under the green flag conditions at the beginning of that last run are what's going to come back to hurt him, because tell you what, their pace through the long run was looking pretty similar.
Across the line, 8 to go. Mark Whitley, 1.6 seconds ahead of Steven Stippian as we speak. Race watching here on the screen. Josh Jones, Stephen Leffler, James Bryan. That is going to be one for 6th position. Kevin Roy's having a heck of a run. I know he's not in this little group we're talking about, but he's gained 10 spots from his start.
I mean, he's really had a great race tonight. It's been one fantastic showing for him here at Pocono, and you know, I'm pretty sure this could be his first top 3 of the season, for sure this season, but maybe his first top 3 here at SRU.
Through the tunnel turn. The gap for Leffler, 1/10 of a second. He's trying to play his cards right on this one.
Yeah, he really is.
Top 5.
He's tried his hardest. I mean, you know, Todd Neese ahead of these guys, much slower on pace. I think they'll definitely be able to catch them. You got James Bryan behind, who's a little bit slower on pace. But Josh Jones and Stephen Leffler are going to, I think, battle for this final top 5 position. Is Dave Bush much too far ahead for them to catch.
And Jones now starting to catch up with Todd Neese as well.
Yeah, I think Neese, with you know how early he pitted with 35 to go, he's a sitting duck compared to these guys at this moment. If Neese can hold on to personally 8th, he'll be doing very good.
Through the tunnel turn as Whitley exits 3. Leffler and Josh Jones looking to chase down Todd Neese. Then you got James Bryan, who's had a heck of a run. Staying right there with it. Man, they closed the gap quickly through 3.
They really didn't. That's just the tire grip level. I mean, 3 is going to be the flattest corner here, so you're going to see that grip level be the biggest difference here. So you're going to see, look at this run. Josh Jones, even with the damage, remember he had a hood off at one point. He's going to go to the inside and take that top 5 spot from Todd Neese. Here comes Stephen Leffler, and here comes James Bryan also, as they're looking like some hungry wolves trying to get their final meal.
Going through 1. Jones moves up into 5th. Neese in 6th. Leffler now will overtake that 6th position from Neese And then here comes James Bryan underneath Nice as well. Trying to push him all the way back to 8th. Bryan had to get out of the gas there. He got real tight through the tunnel turn. And look at Brad Delph. Delph with a monster dive. Right to the back side of James Bryan. Woo.
And he's coming into the picture really quick. I mean, he's much faster than these guys. And guess what? We have a caution. Oh, no. With 5 to go, it's all happened.
Derek Love involved in that, along with the 44 of Robbie Darnell. We'll go back to the Freaky Fast Carnage replay and see exactly what happened with 5 laps to go. Darnell and Love. Let's see here exactly what happened. Looks like Darnell taps that outside wall and comes down and collects Love. And that brings out the caution. Woo, it is a new ball game, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, this changes everything.
And we've run out of time. You can see the conclusion of this race tomorrow. No, I'm just playing.
Yeah, catch us next time. You'll get to see the rest of this. But, man, unfortunate for Derek Love there. Nowhere to go for him. That just looked a dirty air situation there for me, guys. He's directly behind the 95 of Yarrow. 44 goes down to the corner, washes the nose, hard hitting to the wall, bounces off it, and there is the 87 to get the brunt of it. But you remember I was wondering if anybody had a set of tires. Well, if you got them, you better use them.
But for a green-white checker, do you take getting put back past 11? I mean, you know, Yarrow's still in the lead lap in 11th. Do you? I don't think 2 laps, even with fresh tires, you got enough to make up that many spots.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to matter how many, Lee. You know, if it's only, say, Todd Nice, then it's going to be impossible for him to get up that much time. Now, if there's multiple guys in this field, say half the field have tires, if he can restart in the top 8 with tires, I think you can have a good shot at a win still.
Brandon Hartwell out there on YouTube, thank you for joining us, sir. I'd like to thank everyone who is joining us right now on YouTube. If you hadn't clicked on that subscribe button yet, please do. Subscribe to Freaky Fast. It helps the channel. It helps the league. It helps my ego. And also click on that notification bell to find out all the great times. Ooh, Josh Jones almost caught that barrier. Trying to do a little dipsy-do fakearoo going into the pits. So who did end up hitting the pits? James Bryan, Todd Nice, Michael Yarrow all hit.
So it looks like, yeah. Nice, Bryan. Does Bryan even have tires? Yes, he does. James Bryan has tires. Michael Yarrow has tires. So all 3 of these drivers taking tires, but they're going to restart 9th, 10th, and 11th due to the lead lap cars. I'm going to tell you what, Lee. There's a chance that they could get their own tires. And James Bryan's the first one off. I'm not sure with Tanisa. I'm sure he's still sitting on pit road, actually. As Yarrow's been off too, and Bryan. So James Bryan going to be the first one on tires. And we've seen James Bryan take the lead early in this race with new tires. So he's done it before.
He's still on pit road, so he's getting all damage repaired that he possibly can. As we're on caution number 6 here this evening from Pocono. It will be a green-white checkered finish for Sim Racing Unleashed. Mark Whitley has been dominant here this evening. And, you know, Stippian does great on the long run. Not sure if this is something that is going to help him or hurt him. It really depends. But this is the only chance that Stimp really had of catching up with Whitley.
Well, I tell you, looking at the lap times right before that caution, Whitley was about a half a second quicker than Stippian. So I think Whitley is going to be somewhat all right. But guys like Stippian, Dave Bush, they pitted somewhat early compared to the guys behind them who pitted a few laps later. They could be in jeopardy here of losing a few spots. It's gonna take some good restarts, but the recooling of the tires I think will have an effect here too. It's gonna help a lot of these guys on the older tires. And when we see Steven, he took the lead early in this race on old tires from the 6th position. He's starting 2nd right now. Can he get that same type of restart? We'll have to see.
This is going to be a fun little ditty.
And James Bryan, again, remember the first car on tires, he is in 9th on the inside line. Then you have Todd Neese and Michael Yarrow. So both those drivers on new tires also. Man, we see James Bryan take it 4 wide. And the thing is, if he gets a few spots and we do get a caution, guys, man, new tires are going to be very nice to have.
So many possibilities that we will be exploring in the next 2.5 to 3 minutes.
We need to get a warp speed pace car. That'd be pretty cool.
What's a warp speed pace car? Just one that goes really fast?
Just goes really fast, just get pace laps done really fast, I don't know if the cars could keep up with it, but the pace car would be the fastest car on the racetrack.
In the newest update, you can shorten pace laps. Have you noticed that?
Oh, yeah. I know that tracks like this, you can definitely do it. I believe it takes a whole lap away, I believe.
Yeah. And you can clear all black flags like at one time.
Oh, yeah. I've actually seen that where you can do all clear, but about to go green.
Here we go, green flag. Whitley and Stipien. Stipien with a nice jump with Dave Bush on the high side. Whitley's going to have Kevin Roy. And look at Bush trying to side draft Whitley right off the start, trying to pull him on back. Stipien looking to dive down and will take the lead. Whitley in 2nd, Bush in 3rd, Roy 4th, Leffler in 5th, Josh Jones in 6th. Bradley Delph came up close to Horrible. Bringing it down, Delph gets bumped by James Bryant. Little bump draft there. Whitley will go underneath Stipien. Will take the lead. Stipien into 2nd. Kevin Roy into 3rd. Down the backstretch, Brad Delph's going to make it 3 wide with Josh Jones and Stephen Leffler.
James Bryan just murders Keith Hurlbut.
Yeah, pushes him up into the wall. We're going to cross the line with 1 to go. Whitley in the lead, 3 wide. Delph's going to throw the block on Neese. Neese going to come back through 4 wide down the front stretch.
Oh.
Taking almost 5 wide as Josh Jones is in front of him. Through 1. Whitley, Stipien, Roy, Bush, and Jones. Jones now getting split by Neese and James Bryan. He's going to slide on back. Neese is going to slide up into 5th position. Heading towards the tunnel turn. Mark Whitley in the lead. Stipien trying to chase him down with Kevin Roy in 3rd. Oh, they're wrecking back there. It's Neese. We're on the final lap. Going to keep it going. Jones, excuse me. James Bryan also.
Yeah.
Bringing it through 3. Whitley in the lead to Stipien. Have anything for him. Kevin Roy trying to help out Steven Stipien. Through the exit of 3. Nothing going, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, your winner, Mark Whitley. Steven Stipien in 2nd. Kevin Roy in 3rd. Dave Bush in 4th. Josh McIntyre Neese will finish in 5th position after that incident on the last lap.
Man, oh man. And that's going to be a clean sweep for Mark Whitley in all the series here at SRU at Pocono. It's been a good week for here at the Tricky Triangle.
As we await these guys to pull it around, we will remind you that we will have our top 3 to be hanging out with our very own Zach Hall up here in the booth. Mark Whitley, Steven Stipien, and Kevin Roy as we wait for Whitley to work his way on around.
Like a road course.
Really is. Gives me enough time to move everyone to the waiting room.
You are a multitasker, Lee, and that's why we love you.
Yep, time for me to take the time off as I do after every SRU race on Sundays. Mark Whitley will be your winner here this evening, and he's going to lay down some rubber. as he continues in dominant fashion here this season with Sim Racing Unleashed. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll have your top 3 finishers: Mark Whitley, Steven Stipien, and Kevin Roy up in the booth with Zach Hall here on Freaky Fast Broadcasting. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back in just 2 minutes.
All right, we're back here, everybody, for our post-race interview segment of the race. And we got our top 2 drivers. As our 3rd driver, Kevin Roy, did not stay in the waiting room, so he left the building early, and he's out of here. So we'll go ahead and move on to our 2nd place man, Steven Stipien, as he's had a fantastic run here tonight to pull off a 2nd place finish. Hey, Steven, is Zach up in the booth, man? You got a copy?
Hello, sir.
Well, buddy, I tell you what, I think you'll definitely wanted to win this thing, man. But I tell you what, ended up with 2nd here tonight, coming back to the racetrack. I'm sure you're pretty happy about that. Also, just let us know how your race went there, man. Because I tell you what, you made the most of it there.
Happy to be up here talking to you guys. Like getting interviewed.
Definitely. We enjoy you having you up here, man.
Yeah, that was a fun race. I pitted too early. It's disappointing, but Whitley, he's a hell of a guy. I mean, it's one of my favorite tracks. I love this track. Love racing with these guys, but Whitley's he's on another level. Hats off to him.
Yeah, he's definitely shown to be the class of the field here, man. He's been a tough cookie. That's why we put up the Freaky Fast bounty on him. So maybe you'll be the one to take it off of him. We got an off week coming up for Father's Day, which congrats, you're about to be a father. So that's probably going to be a special day for you coming up here. Man, and then we head off to Michigan. I know that's also another one of your favorite tracks. What do you feel about going into Michigan, though? I think that's going to be the one for you, buddy.
Oh, man, I hope so. It'd be nice, Sun's due in a couple of weeks. Get a win. It'll be nice, But I do love Michigan. Looking forward to Michigan. And we'll see what happens. I mean, hell of a race for the second half tonight. The first half, sorry about the cautions, but second half was a lot of fun. Had to thank my teammate Dave for helping me. So we'll try to run down Whitley on that long run.
Yeah, you guys were definitely doing some great teamwork there, man, to pull in anytime you could. So a great run here tonight, man. Really the first time we ran the next gen car here. What were really your thoughts on running that here for the first time?
So the old car, I was really I was really good through the tunnel turn and through turn 3. This car, I sucked in turn 3, and I was really good in 1 and 2. Sorry, I don't know if I can say that. My apologies.
No, you're
But
good.
I just couldn't figure out 3 for some reason. Guys were getting a run off me, and then I'd have a run off the corner because I didn't take it in too hot. But I mean, I had 1 and 2 down, but 3 I just couldn't figure out with this car.
Well, I'll tell you what, man. You had one or 2 of the 3 quarters figured out. This is a tricky triangle, man. So it's usually like that here for most drivers. But we'll have to catch you in 2 weeks, my friend, at Michigan. But before we let you go, as always, anybody want to send a shout out to Steven?
Tell Lee I'm disappointed I didn't get to say hi to him real quick. But give a shout out to you guys. Obviously, doing this week in and week out broadcast looks amazing, per usual. My dad watching back home. Happy Father's Day to you next week. And then, of course, my beautiful fiance. She just left for work, sadly, but love you, babe. Thanks for the support and let me do this. And, of course, my future son. Can't wait to meet him.
Oh, that's for sure, buddy. Congrats on that, Steven. Buddy, we will catch you in 2 weeks, man. I can't wait for it at Michigan.
Hell yeah, man. Hey, Smoke Inc. 2 and 4.
That's right, buddy. Good job, man, and we'll catch you there, bud.
Appreciate it, guys. You guys have a good night.
You too, man. All right, guys, that was Steven Stimpy, your second place man. Telling you what, when we go to Michigan, that's going to be another one of the tracks that he is very, very strong at. But we'll have to see what he can do with this 77 machine, who's on a roll. 3 races in a row now. He won the Daytona Road Course. He won the Texas Motor Speedway. Now he comes here to the Pocono Raceway and gets the 3rd win of the season for him after a championship season. Mark Whitley is your race winner. Let's hear his thoughts. Hey, Mark and Zach up in the booth, man. You got a copy?
I got you loud and clear.
Well, I'll tell you what, buddy. I'll use I'll use a term that Lee likes to say. I mean, you must be butter because you're on a roll. Because man, it's just impressive to see what you're doing week in and week out. Now 3 wins in a row, Mark. Just take us through your race, man. Because it was a dominating performance, but at the same time, it's almost impossible to get away here. But you were able to do it at some point. So kind of just take us through the race as you had to really work your way through it.
Yeah, honestly, I wanted to start as far up front as I could because I knew this season with no fast repairs with these cars, I knew everybody's gonna be on top of each other. So I was like, I want to get away from everybody trying to get away from the middle pack into the pack because especially Pocono, it's almost like Dover. I mean, you get in a wreck. I mean, everybody it's just funnels all together and you can't go anywhere. So I wanted to start up front to make sure I could avoid any possible collisions, and had a few cautions there at the beginning of the race. And I then, when I got about 15 laps, I wanted to try to get off pit sequence with everybody because I wanted to be on fresher tires because I figured out that the draft with these cars really helps straight line speed, but it kind of hurts in the corners. So by yourself, you won't that far off, even with a draft, like maybe a 10th or 2. But then the tires really fell off, especially when you're in that draft. It would eat that right front up. So I was trying to get off my own strategy, trying to get on the fresher tires, just trying to make a use for it. And toward the middle of the race, we were on old tires because I came in one time just to get gas to see if that would help maybe free up the balance a little bit. But it was still pushing tight. So we came back in on lap 50. And luckily after that, we went green for the whole way. And I was able to get up through there a little bit, and then I was able to pull away a little bit because some of the guys on the older tires were up there battling side by side, and they let me get away. And that was kind of my point, where it was like I got about 2 seconds ahead where they really couldn't get my draft, but they weren't really running me down too much. Maybe a 10th or 2 every now and then, but these cars are really tricky. If you got somebody's draft in front of me, you'll get a pull all the way down the straightaway, and it's going to be making you 10 mile an hour faster. But if you get outside that draft, and even, I mean, the lap times wise, they won't that much faster in the draft. So I was just trying to maintain that about 2-second lead so they wouldn't get my draft, and then it went all the way green, and I just stayed out as long as I could because I knew they were trying to short pit, trying to cut it, but I only had one set of tires left, so I was trying to wait as long as I could. And I could have probably stayed at a couple more laps, but I didn't want to lose too much time to the guys back, so came back out and was able to run him back down, and Stimp gave me a little battle there for a second, but I was able to get by him without too much issue. And then we were just kind of walking away, and I was thinking to myself, hey, this, 6, 7 laps to go. I'm like, all right, just going to cruise to a win here. But then about a couple laps later, I'm like, I bet there's going to be some kind of caution. And about a lap and a half later, it was the one. And that had me a little worried because I knew a bunch of people saved a set and they came out, but enough people stayed out that run where they couldn't get to us. If they had a couple more cautions there, a couple more green, white checkers, it might have been a different story. But Stimp actually got a better jump than me on the restart. I think I was sleeping a little bit, but in his car, he was still on about 10 lap older tires, so he slid up the hill and I was able to get back by him pretty good. And then it was just about trying to break the draft, weaving left and right. Looked like I was on a road course out there going left and right so hard, but that last lap was just about hitting my marks and making sure Stimp couldn't get a good draft on me. When we went down into turn 3, I knew I was good because he was far enough back where I just had to hit my marks to hit him. It got a good run. I actually started pulling away a little bit and just tried to bring it home without any incidents.
Yeah, well, you definitely did that, man. 3rd win in a row for you. Now we're off next week for Father's Day, and then we head off to Michigan. That is going to be a pretty wild race. What do you feel like the chances are for 4 in a row?
Well, I mean, in here, I know tonight we had a couple people miss. Hunter Haywood and a couple other people missed. They were at either All-Star race or at other occupations, so the field was a little bit thinner. But I think Michigan's going to be a little bit different. I think because I think that's a wide enough track and it's got enough banking where that might turn into a Talladega type track with this draft package. So it's going to be interesting. It's always hard to go 4 in a row, especially with a league like this. There's so many people that have a chance to win, especially with these cars. It's it might look easy, but I'm telling you, it's not easy. I got a headache right now from being so stressed out the whole race. So just glad to be able to pull off the week sweep, I guess, and won the trucks, the Xfinity, and this. So I've never done that before, so I gotta take that in for a minute and just enjoy it because wins don't always come. So when they start coming in bunches, you better enjoy them.
Yeah, they definitely don't, buddy. So you better enjoy them while you get them. But congrats on 3 in a row, man. Before we let you go and celebrate for tonight's victory, anybody want to send a shout to?
I just want to give a shout out to my parents, my granddad. They were watching. I already got texts from them. Appreciate them tuning in pretty much every time I'm racing, whether it be here or a different league. Wonderful fiance in there in the other room, actually hanging out with one of her friends, just to kind of let me do my own bull stuff around here. And then I gotta give a shout out to y'all on this broadcast. Should be interesting to go back and watch. I'm sure it was a doozy for y'all to put on, so always gotta thank y'all for putting on the show.
Well, I'll tell you what, Mark, thank you guys for putting on a show out there for us to let us bring this great action to all the fans, man. Congrats on 3 in a row, buddy. Have a great week off, and we'll catch you in 2 weeks in Michigan.
All right, sounds good, guys.
You have a good night, buddy. All right, guys, that was your race winner, Mark Whitley, in that 77 machine, bringing home race win number 3, and 3 in a row at that here as we pull up our race results. There you can see it, Mark Whitley, 3rd race win in a row. 2nd's going to go to Steven Stimpian after a comeback race. 3rd is going to be Kevin Roy. 4th's going to go to Dave Bush after a great top 5 for him. Todd Neese there going to bring it home in 5th after getting tires down the last stop. Same with Michael Yar there in the 6th position. 7th's going to go to Steven Leffler. 8th's going to be Mark Koschik. 9th's going to be Kevin Hurlbut in his debut here in the Cup Series. 10th's going to be James Bryant. 11th's going to be Josh Jones. 12th is going to be Brad Delth. 13th is going to be Jason Adams. 14th, Robbie Darnell. 15th is going to go to Derek Love. 16th is Paul Cohen. 17th is going to go to Robert Cheswick. 18th, Clifton Ashley. And 19th is Kyle Nadeau rounding out your field here tonight at the Pocono Raceway. What a race it was for 101 laps here for the Budget Sim Boxes 250 here at the Pocono Raceway. Really great race. Lee wanted to make sure I told everybody that he loves you all out there. He had to skedaddle and get himself ready for work tomorrow early in this Monday grind coming up for the new week. So thank you, Lee, for joining us. And he wanted to thank all you fans out there. And I echo those statements. Thank you all fans for tuning in. Looks like we might have gained a subscriber during the night. So we definitely pretty happy about that. And make sure if you haven't yet, hit that subscribe, that like, and follow button. It really helps us out here, and share it out to your friends and family to let them know where your favorite racing action happens on YouTube here at Freaky Fast Broadcasting. But thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Let's send it up to Robert Moyer Jr., our producer, to close out tonight's broadcast here at Sim Racing Unleashed.
All right. Thank you, Zach. Thank you, Lee, for calling a great race. Well, like you said, Zach's got to get ready to head on out to do some practice here. So we're going to make this short and sweet to everybody. I echo what Zach said about the subscribe and the bell button so you don't miss any of the action here at Freaky Fast as we are live on Mondays, double headers on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, off Fridays. Got Saturday night, and then we got double headers on Sunday. So, again, make sure you look on our schedule on YouTube and you can see when we go live. But until then, we're going to say have a great week. God bless everybody. We love you all. Peace out.
Everybody have a great night.